We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we welcome you back here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, our recruiter, Sydney Blake, Paul Cimino here with us tonight on the Amityville Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you live coverage of a doubleheader to end the season between the Amityville Warriors and the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. We are currently in the bottom of the second inning. Bridgehampton has a 2-0 lead as that pitch is grounded towards shortstop. Fielded by Ford, throws across the diamond in time. And that is the second out of the bottom of the second inning. Borges grounds out to shortstop. In the top of the first inning, Bridgehampton was able to get on the board after a leadoff single by Ford. Stole second base, put himself in scoring position, and then scored on a Tompkins base hit. Tompkins would end up coming around to score for Bridgehampton as well to take the 2-0 lead. Warriors did have a hit in the bottom of the first inning as coming up to the plate and lining a single into center field is Rosario for the Warriors, number 6 hitter. So Rosario keeps this inning alive for Amityville with a solid base hit up the middle. In the, once again, bottom of the first inning, Warriors did go 1-2-3, but Sanchez did have a single in there, got picked off of first base. Good pitching, good defense in the top of the second for Amityville. And here we are with 2 away in the bottom of the second inning, and there is a strike to Lucas Torres, senior, playing right field tonight. Left-handed hitter. He has Rosario leading off of first base. The lefty Alversa deals, swung on and missed. Good cut by Torres, and Torres finds himself in the hole, 0-2. Warriors have had 3 at-bats that have gone full counts already. Torres, first hitter, really to find himself behind tonight. And there's the pitch just upstairs. So good take by Torres. Rosario actually dove back to first base on the play. So clearly the Warriors are aware that Kyle Alversa, the lefty, has a very good move to first base. Again, for those just joining in, Alversa 16 strikeouts in an 11-1 win against the Warriors this past Saturday. And here's the 1-2. And Torres goes down swinging to end the inning. So the Warriors get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. And at the end of 2 innings of play, it's Bridgehampton 2 and Amityville nothing as we get set for the 3rd inning of play. And just to reset for everybody here, again, we thank you for spending your evening with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. The Warriors and the Bridgehampton Killer Bees are playing a doubleheader to end both of their respective seasons. This is actually games 3 and 4, part of a 4-game set in which Amityville and Bridgehampton have split the first 2. Warriors on the year, coming with a 2-13 record. Bridgehampton, meanwhile, 6-8. Amityville lost the first game 11-1 last Saturday, and again, as we mentioned, that was to exactly the same pitcher they are facing today in Kai Alversa. But in game 2, which was yesterday, the Warriors did much better as they were able to get the win. Another tight one, a 2-1 victory, for the Amityville Warriors. So who is going to win this series? Well, for both teams, again, their respective regular seasons come to a close, and tonight is also the night that Amityville will be honoring their seniors in between games, so we will have that ceremony for you. Mason Rosario, pitcher, first baseman for the Warriors, will get honored along with Lucas Torres, who is the right fielder and also designated hitter for Amityville. So we are all set for the 3rd inning of play here from Selden, New York, as we are at a neutral site. We'd like to thank the town of Brookhaven for allowing both of these teams to play this doubleheader here tonight, and the weather could not be any better. It was pouring rain this morning and chilly, and now it feels like summer. We're starting to get a cool breeze as the sun begins to set in left field, but it is the perfect weather for baseball as the 2, 3, and 4 hitters come up for the Killer Bees, and it's Tompkins who looks at strike one to start the third inning. Darnell Sanchez deals, and there's a fly ball hit into center field. Kruder trying to chase it down. He's not going to get there. It's all the way against the wall. Tompkins hits second, round second now, heading towards third as the Warriors have a difficult time getting the ball back in. And that will be a lead-off triple for Tompkins as he sent that one on a ride. And Tompkins, who had a base hit back in the first inning, gets things started here for Bridgehampton here in the third. That will bring up Sean Gnip, the junior. The lefty looks at ball one inside. So the count 1-0 to Gnip. And again, we apologize for the earlier technical difficulties. We'll retake you through the lineups in just a moment as here's a fastball up and in. The count 2-0 now to Gnip. It's for Tompkins, Gnip, Alversa, Kadaris, Fitzgerald, Kadaris, McGonigal, and Finn Alversa. That makes up the lineup for Bridgehampton. And in the field for the Warriors, we'll get you that in just a moment as here's the pitch, and there's a strike. So count is now 3-1 to Gnip, with Tompkins leading off of third after the leadoff triple. The pitch swung on and missed, and now the count goes full. So good job by Sanchez to battle back from 3-0 now to 3-2. Bonilla, Kruder, and Torres left to right in the outfield. Tejada, Eden McCullough, Elijah McCullough, and Rosario left to right in the infield. As here's the pitch. It's grounded towards shortstop with the infield in. Throw home, and it gets past Luciano as the throw was not clean. It goes to the backstop. Play worked beautifully as McCullough was in, and it was hit right to him. But the errant throw will allow Tompkins to score on the play, and it'll be an E6 that allows Gnip to take first base. 3-0 now, Bridgehampton in front, and that brings up the righty, Alversa, sorry. And Alversa, and the runner is going for second base. Luciano throws down to second. Good throw, not in time. Gnip had a really good jump, so Sanchez is going to have to do a better job paying attention to the runner on first base. That gets Gnip into scoring position. And we get time. Kyle Versa, who throws lefty but hits righty. He's going to talk to his coach. His coach Zeider is out to talk to his pitcher Sanchez, and right now we will check in with the third member, the other member of our broadcast team today, Aaron Kruder.
Hello, welcome back. So great effort by the Warriors in the third inning now. Great effort all around, especially we saw some good throws by Sean Kruder, who happens to be my twin brother, but he is recovering from an elbow injury. He had surgery in early February, but he's recovering nicely. He's beginning to throw better, and we love to see that kind of recovery on our team. Back to you guys.
Here we go.
Thanks, Aaron. Looks like we're all set to get back underway. So Alversa, who had a single in his first at-bat in the first inning, also got an RBI. Looks at a fastball upstairs. So the count is 1-0. Gnip leads off of second base. Tompkins led off the inning with a triple, came around to score on the E6. 1-0 by Sanchez, swing and a miss. Good breaking ball outside, and Alversa chases, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Sanchez checks the runner at second and deals. And it's fouled off by the Warrior dugout, and Sanchez is now in front, 1-2. Alversa pitching today for Bridgehampton, looking to help himself out. He has a runner in scoring position. Sanchez trying to get the best of him right now in front, 1-2. There's the pitch inside and swung on and line foul down the third base line. And we'll do it again. Count remains 1-2. 1-2. Outside breaking ball. Count evens up at 2 apiece. Knipp dancing off of second base, which he stole moments ago. Reached on the error by shortstop Aiden McCullough on the throw to home plate. And there's a pitch. Foul tip, but right into the glove of Luciano. And Alversa goes down swinging for the first out here in the top of the third inning. Bridgehampton with an early 3-0 lead. 2 runs in the top of the first, 1 run here in the third, looking to do more damage as Kardakis comes up to the plate. And that pitch is fouled off as Knipp was running on the play. So Darnell Sanchez once again going to have to make sure he gives a look over to second base to try to keep Knipp as close to that bag as possible. Alexei Kardakis, the junior, and there's a pickoff throw to second base. Getting back in plenty of time is Knipp. Kardakis in his first at-bat grounded into a fielder's choice 6-4. And that's where he would remain. Here's the pitch. Inside strike. And Sanchez out in front, count 0-1. Knipp leading off a second. Kardakis in the box, fastball, low in the dirt, good stop by Luciano. There is a backstop here, but there is probably about 15 feet between where the catcher is and the backstop. So catchers are going to have to be on their game today. And here's a pitch way inside, and jumping out of the way was Kardakis, and the count is now 2-1. 1 out here, top of the third inning. Bridgehampton up 3-0. Sanchez trying to get out of a little jam. And the pitch, strike on the outside part of the plate, and Kardakis goes down looking. So that will be the second out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Darnell Sanchez, and that will bring Tyler Fitzgerald, the sophomore, to the plate. Fitzgerald struck out looking in his first at-bat, and he looks at strike 1 outside corner to start off at-bat number 2. Knipp still leading off his second. 1 run in here, top of the third. And the 0-1 from Sanchez. Strike on the inside corner, curveball, and Sanchez out in front, 0-2. Fitzgerald took Sanchez to a full count in his first at-bat before striking out looking. Now Fitzgerald finds himself in the 0-2 hole. There's a pitch swung on and missed. Fastball on the outside corner. So Fitzgerald goes down with the strikeout for the second time today, but not before Bridgehampton does some damage. And at the end of 2.5 innings of play, Bridgehampton scores 1 run on 1 hit and leaves 1 man on. And they have a 3-0 lead against the Amityville Warriors. 2.5 innings here in the books from Selden, New York, as we are in the first game of a doubleheader between the Warriors and the Killer Bees as both teams look to finish off their seasons today. Due up for the Amityville Warriors will be their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. It'll be Bonilla, Kruder, and their shortstop, Aiden McCullough. Amityville does have 2 hits today, but have not been able to do anything with it. Sanchez had a hit in the first inning, but would end up getting picked off by the lefty Kai Alversa. And then in the second inning, Rosario was able to get a single, but Lucas Torres would strike out swing to end the inning, stranding Rosario at first base. So let's see what the bottom of the order can do for the Warriors here as they trail 3-0 in game 1 of this twin billing. Once again, thank you for joining us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder, Sidney Blake, Paul Cimino. Bridgehampton finishing their in-between inning warm-ups on what is an absolutely gorgeous evening here. Almost no breeze on a turf field, perfect conditions for baseball. The sun is behind the outfielders. That'll make it a little easier to track fly balls. But we'll have to see if the Amityville Warrior offense can get going against Alversa. Warriors did manage 1 run against him last Saturday. But again, 16 strikeouts against Alversa. So far today, much better. Warriors have struck out twice in 2 innings. And the left fielder and righty steps into the box, and that will be Bonilla. Alversa deals fastball inside, and the count is 1-0. Bonilla back in the box. And the pitch. Strike on the inside corner. Breaking ball from the lefty, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Swung on and missed. Good pitch inside corner. And Bonilla is behind 1-2 as Alversa is starting his 3rd inning of work. Armando Bonilla swings and misses on a pitch outside off the plate and up. And so Bonilla goes down. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Alversa. And now we go to the bottom of the order, the number 9 hitter, Sean Kruder, brother of our very own Aaron Kruder, who is up here in the box with us right now. Kruder, his first at-bat of the game as the Warriors trail 3-0 here in Selden, New York. Fastball upstairs, good take from Kruder, and the count is 1-0. Alversa gets his sign, and Cutter breaks back over the outside part of the plate for a strike, and the count even at 1 apiece. Alversa deals inside corner, so Alversa doing a good job working both halves of the plate, and Kruder finds himself in a 1-2 hole. Outfield playing pretty shallow for Kruder, pretty much straight away. And Kruder takes a strike 3 on the inside part of the plate and goes down looking. So back-to-back strikeouts here to open up the bottom of the 3rd inning for Kai Alversa. And we go back to the top of the order. It'll be Aiden McCullough. In his first at-bat, he struck out looking against Alversa. And here's the pitch upstairs for a ball. The count 1-0. McCullough, the shortstop for the Warriors, just a 10th grader. He gets to play with his brother, who is an 8th grader. So once again, a very young team for this Warrior program here. Coach Zeider very excited about the future of this program as McCullough takes a pitch inside and count 2-0. You hear the Warrior bench getting excited, cheering their players on, trying to get McCullough to start a potential 2-out rally. He's in a good place right now, 2-0 count. There's the pitch. Fastball just a little up, and the count is 3-0. Alversa sets and deals. Inside, ball 4. So the leadoff hitter does his job. McCullough will walk to first base. That's the first walk issue today for Alversa to go along with 4 strikeouts. And with a runner on first and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd, that'll bring up Sanchez, who had a base hit in his first at-bat of the game, would end up getting picked off by the lefty afterwards. McCullough, a very safe, conservative lead at first base as Alversa looks at him, deals a fastball, swung on and missed by Sanchez, in the count 0-1. Again, the corner outfielders, left field playing fairly shallow, right field and center field a little deeper, infield straight away. Throw over to first base. McCullough dives back in plenty of time. Alexei Kardakas playing even with the bag at 3rd. Elliot McGonigal clearly holding on McCullough. And the 0-1 to Sanchez. Breaking ball upstairs, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Sanchez on the bump today for the Warriors, trying to help himself out here as we get another throw over to first base. McCullough taking a very, very short lead there. And as we said earlier, Amityville probably doesn't see too many left-handed pitchers, and Kai Alversa is one of the better ones here in Suffolk County. So definitely an adjustment needs to be made on the base paths today, and so far Alversa holding runners close as there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now 1-2 to Sanchez. Alversa gets the sign. Late lead by McCullough. Alversa checks the runner and deals inside, and the count evens up at 2-2. McCullough just a couple of steps off of first base. Leadoff hitter trying to time the move from Alversa, but not taking any chances. Now he takes off, and that pitch is swung on and hit to left field, but they say it's a foul ball. And we'll do it again. So Sanchez fights off the pitch as Coach Zeider puts on the hit and run. So the count remains 2-2 here in the bottom of the third inning. 2 away as Bonilla and Kruder both led off with strikeouts. Warriors trail 3-0. 2 runs in the top of the first inning. 1 run in the third inning. Warrior bench letting Alversa hear it. The 2-2 and the throw over to first base, and McCullough back in plenty of time. Alversa once again checking the runner. And now they have him picked off again. McCullough, throw to first, back to second, but McCullough slides in safely. So McCullough was going on the pitch. Canada has a stolen base. Alversa had him picked off, but because McCullough was going on the pitch and had such a good break, he's able to slide in safely ahead of Elliott McGonigal's throw from first. And so now the Warriors have a runner in scoring position. 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Sanchez with a 2-2 count. Alversa checking McCullough over at second and deals the 2-2. And the count goes full. 3-2. First base is open. Luciano, who had a couple hits and an RBI in the last game against Bridgehampton, he awaits on deck. Alversa checks on a runner and deals. And that ball is popped up out of play behind home plate. And the count will remain full. We'll do it again. With 2 away, you'd expect McCullough to be off on the pitch. Sanchez battling, full count, Alversa. Gets his sign, takes his time. Here's the pitch, and strike 3. So Sanchez goes down swinging. Alversa strikes out the side. And the Warriors strand a runner after the walk by McCullough and the stolen base. So for the Warriors, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. And at the end of 3 innings of play, it's Bridgehampton 3 and Amityville 0 here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Last day of the season for the Warriors. Second game coming up probably about 20 minutes after the first game ends, but we just want to remind you that Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres will be honored as seniors as they are playing their last 2 games for the Warriors. And Torres, who showed up on the scene last year, 2 years with Coach Zeider. He's certainly made his impact here as a leader, as an outfielder and a hitter. But right now, Amityville needs to get back to basics. Darnell Sanchez needs to continue to work quickly, keep his pitch count low, and try to keep Bridgehampton off the base paths. Just to recap the game real quick, in the first inning, Ford led off with a base hit, followed by Tompkins with a single of his own. Eventually, both runners would come around to score. And in the second inning, the number 9 hitter, Alversa, would get a single. Finn Alversa, brother of the pitcher. But that would be the only base runner in the second for Bridgehampton, and he would be stranded on first. In the third inning, Bridgehampton was able to get another run to score after a leadoff triple by Tompkins. Gnip came up, hit a hard ground ball to shortstop with the infield in, but McCullough couldn't make a clean throw to the plate, and that is how the run scored. So that is where we are at, 3-0 after 3 innings. Bridgehampton out in front. And due up this inning for Bridgehampton will be their 7, 8, and 9 hitters. It'll be Kardakis, McGonigal, and Finn Alversa. Warriors are done with their warm-ups in between innings, and we are set to start inning number 4. It's the top of the 4th. Quick meeting on the mound between Rosario, Sanchez, and Luciano. Ari Kardakis, he'll stroll to the plate, the junior. In his first at-bat, he flew out to Torres over in right field. So the righty Kardakis steps into the box, and Sanchez deals and swung on and popped up into center field. And that ball is going to drop in between Torres and Kruder. Moving into second base, hustling all the way, was Kardakis. And that will be a lead-off double for Kardakis. So back-to-back innings where Bridgehampton have lead-off extra base hits. And the Killer Bees are in business here again with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out, top of the 4th inning. That ball not hit hard at all off of Sanchez, but just kind of fell in no man's land between Sean Kruder, the center fielder, and Lucas Torres over in right. As Sanchez deals now to McGonigal as he squares to bunt, and nothing doing there. McGonigal struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the second inning. Tejada way in, the third baseman for the Warriors. Same thing with Rosario on the other side at first, so expecting another bunt. Here's a pickoff throw to second base. Throw is on the second base side of the bag, and diving back in without a problem is Kardakis. Now Rosario will back up, squaring around a bunt, looking for the sacrifice, and pulling back. And now they have him caught. Throw over to third base, but the throw gets past the third baseman, goes into left field. Tejada couldn't handle the throw. Bonilla chases it down, but it's not going to matter. They had Kardakis dead to rights, but he will end up scoring. And it is now 4-0 Bridgehampton. Darnell Sanchez doing everything he can do. But an error on the play. As here's the pitch, they'll call the error on the throw to Luciano. And that will allow Kardakis to score. So 4-0, base is empty again. Here's the pitch, strike. And that evens the count at 2 apiece to McGonigal. McGonigal swinging away now, no reason to bunt with nobody on base, and the count goes full. McGonigal, the number 8 hitter. And Sanchez deals, breaking ball way inside, and that gives a free pass to McGonigal. That's the first walk issued today by Darnell Sanchez. McGonigal goes to first, and the first 2 hitters here of the top of the 4th have reached base. Kardakis has already come around to score. McGonigal leads off at first. The number 9 hitter, Finn Alversa, looks at ball 1. Alversa in his first at-bat lined a base hit on a 1-1 pitch. Tejada way in at third again. There's a bunt, pop straight up and back here, almost a souvenir. Sydney Blake, our camerawoman today, almost had to hit the deck on that one. So the count evens up at 1 apiece to Alversa. And still squaring a bunt, bunts right back to the pitcher. Nobody covering at second base, so they'll throw over to first. You could score it 1-3, but the McCullough brothers, neither one of them covered second base on the play. The Warriors probably had a play against McGonigal, but because nobody was there, Sanchez did the right thing. He took his time, regrouped, and threw over to first for the guaranteed out. So one away here in the top of the fourth, and that one is going, it looks like it hit the leadoff hitter Ford. And actually, they're going to say he got out of the way. I don't know how he got out of the way of that one. But on the wild pitch, that'll send McGonigal over to third base. So score that a wild pitch and a ball. There's a strike on the outside corner to the lefty Ford. Ford's first at bat. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He had a base hit, stolen base, came around to score. Grounded out to second in the second inning. And there's a ball. 2-1 the count to Ford. McGonigal leading off the third. 1 run already in here in the top of the fourth inning, and it's 4-0. That ball is low. Bridgehampton in front. 3-1 the count to Ford. Ford, the shortstop for the Killer Bees, and he grounds one to shortstop. Fielded there by McCullough. Throws over to first, and no, I take that back. The ball gets past him and into center field, so that will be an error on McCullough. His second error of the game. And that will, I'm sorry, I take it back. Between the sun and the net, it's a little hard to see. So they actually got the lead runner at second base, as there's a strike now to the number 2 hitter Tompkins. He swings and misses. So no error, fielder's choice, good play by McCullough. Throw over to first, and no, I am all over the map here. I have to apologize. It is an E6. And McGonigal scored from third base as he had advanced to third on that wild pitch. So that is the second run that is home this inning for Bridgehampton. Now taking off is Ford. Throw down to second base is high, and a good play by McCullough to keep that ball in the infield. So Ford, after reaching on the E6, steals second base, gets himself into scoring position. Still only 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning. And it's 5-0 Killer Bees. Darnell Sanchez pitching a good game here. Needs some help behind him as there's a swing and a miss. And Tompkins finds himself down 0-2. The 0-2 inside, just missed the corner. And the count 1-2 now to Tompkins. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed. So a strikeout for Sanchez, helping himself out here. And for Sanchez, that is his sixth strikeout of the day. So again, Sanchez pitching well here as the lefty Knip comes up. Pickoff throw goes into center field, but good backup by Kruder. And the Warriors able to keep Ford at second base. Knip is 0 for 2. Grounded out to third base in the first inning and reached on an E6 in the third. Did make it to second base on a stolen base as Knip fouls it away. Count 0-1 to the lefty.
1 strike. Here we go.
2 outs here, top of the 4th inning. 3 runs in as that ball is low. Good stop by Luciano. And the count is 1-1. Sanchez trying to stop the bleeding as the Warriors have an uphill battle to climb as they face a really good pitcher tonight. There's a ground ball over to second base. Some miscommunication, and nobody comes over to cover. It looked like Rosario wasn't sure if he should cover the base. Sanchez wasn't sure if he should cover the base. And McCullough wasn't sure if Rosario was going to cut him off and grab it. So a little bit of miscommunication, and they'll score that one. I'm going to score it an infield single. And that will move forward over to third on the single. So runners at the corners, 2 away here, top of the 4th, taking off on the first pitch. And without a throw, Ganip will steal second base, his 2nd stolen base of the game. So now it's runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Alversa is up, and he looks at a ball outside. Count is 2-0 now. Alversa 1 for 2. Base hit in the 1st. Strikeout. And there's a ground ball through the hole between 1st and 2nd base. And 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Nothing being hit hard today, but Sanchez, the victim of the ball being placed in the right spot and the defense not coming through for him. So 2 more runs cross the plate, 5 in the inning, and it is 8-0. 7-0 Bridgehampton here in the top of the 4th inning. And that will bring up Kardakis. Kardakis is 0 for 2 as he grounds 1 to third base. Fielded there by Tejada. Tejada across the diamond in time. And finally, that will end the inning. But the damage is done. As for Bridgehampton, they get 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 left on base. And at the end of 3.5 innings of play, it is 7-0. Bridgehampton out in front. Warriors coming to bat. So as the Warriors get set to come up here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, they find themselves in quite a hole. As for Amityville, they will see their 3, 4, and 5 hitters, so the heart of the order coming up. And so far through 10 innings against Kai Alversa, Amityville's only managed 1 run, and they've struck out 21 times. So with Luciano, Tejada, and Borges due up for the Warriors, we'll see if they can get something started here. 7-0 Bridgehampton out in front in game 1 of this doubleheader. This is actually game 3 of a 4-game set. Warriors dropped the first game 11-1. That was last Saturday. Yesterday, Amityville was able to get the win 2-1. And today, they find themselves in a huge hole right now, 7-0. So Luciano appears ready as Alversa will give his final warm-up pitch. And we are all set to start the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jamal Luciano comes up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 on the day. Popped out to the shortstop back in the 1st inning of play. Luciano adjusts his batting gloves, steps into the right-handed batter's box, and we are all set as the lefty Alversa gets set to deal. And the pitch swung on and missed. Fastball upstairs, and Luciano behind in the count, 0-1. And the pitch in the dirt. Count evens up 1 apiece. Alversa working quickly here in the bottom of the 4th. And there's a swing and a fly ball to right field. Gnip camps under it and makes the grab. 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. And that will bring up Waldy Tejada, third baseman for the Warriors. Grounded out to second base in his first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. Alversa gets his sign, sets, and pitches. Low and outside, and the count 1-0. Alversa always pitches from the stretch, never from the windup. Here's the pitch, and it's chopped right back to the pitcher, past his glove. It's going to be a tough play for Alversa. He throws over to first, not in time, as Tejada, hustling all the way, beats out an infield single. So Finn Alversa not able to help his brother, Kai Alversa, out. That ball was hit in no man's land. Too slow to make a play. And so the Warriors are in business. Runner on first base, 1 away here, bottom of the 4th. Amityville trails 7-0. Borges comes up, the designated hitter for game 1. Tejada with a half a step lead as the first pitch is chopped foul. Tejada not wanting to take any chances with the lefty Alversa's pickoff move. Borges grounded out to short in his first at-bat. Did work a full count, so he saw a lot of pitches. We'll see if that helps him in at-bat number 2, as there's a swing and a miss. So Borges finds himself in an 0-2 hole, with Tejada barely leading off of first base. And the pitch swung on and foul tipped into the catcher's glove. Tompkins holds on, and Borges goes down swinging. 2 away, bottom of the 4th inning. Tejada reached on an infield single, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Rosario. Rosario had a base hit back in the 2nd inning, but was stranded there when Torres struck out to end the inning. So let's see if Rosario can move Borges. I don't think he's going to be taking second. I don't know if any Warriors are going to be stealing second base today as long as Alversa is on the bump. And there's the pitch, grounded towards shortstop, fielded by Ford, takes his time, throws across the diamond in time, and that will do it here in the bottom of the 4th inning of play. So for the Amityville Warriors, they get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. And at the end of 4 innings of play, it's 7-0 Bridgehampton. We're going to step aside for just a moment here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
I've been driving trucks for a long time, and safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
And welcome back to Selden, New York, as we are in the midst of Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Warriors and the Killer Bees. First pitch, strike. Second pitch, a little high. 1-1, count evens up here. As we are in the top of the 5th inning of play. 7-0 Bridgehampton out in front. Fitzgerald is up. Swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2 to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking in the first, swinging in the third. This time he grounds one over to second base. Fielded there by McCullough, over to first. Easy play. And there's one away here in the top of the 5th inning.
Wow.
7-0. Bridgehampton out in front. Senior Day celebration coming up in between games here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And that will bring up the 7-hitter, Kadaris, and he looks at ball 1 outside. Kadaris 1 for 2 on the day. Flew out to right field in the second. That ball is high. Then had a double and would come around to score on an error back in the 4th inning. A 4th inning which saw 4 runs plated for the Killer Bees. And there's a ground ball over to first base. Tough hop, but fielded by Rosario, recovers and steps on the bag. So scored a 3 unassisted and 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th inning, which is exactly what pitcher Darrell Sanchez needed. And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, McGonigal. McGonigal 0 for 1, struck out in the second, walked in the 4th inning, would end up coming around to score as he takes strike 1. And the pitch is popped up, foul, out of play, right side, and the count is 0-2. So Darrell Sanchez working very economically here in the top of the 5th inning. And the 0-2 from Sanchez. Inside, count is now 1-2. And the 1-2 just missed outside, and the count evens up at 2-2. And strike 3 called. Good inning of work for Darrell Sanchez. McGonigal's down for the 2nd time today. And after 4.5 innings of play, good inning for the Warriors, but they still trail Bridgehampton 7-0 here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We'll keep it right here, though, as Amityville, coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, will send up their 7, 8, and 9 hitters. It'll be Torres, Bonilla, and Kruder. Quick recap of today's game. Bridgehampton was able to get 2 quick runs in the 1st inning, top of the 1st inning. Amityville settled down for the top of the 2nd. They did allow a base hit, but nobody came around to score. 3rd inning, 1 run did reach. It was a leadoff triple by Tompkins. And with the infield in, Gnip hit a ground ball right to Aiden McCullough, who tried to get Tompkins out at the plate. The throw was rushed. It got past Luciano and scoring on the play was Tompkins on the E6. So it was 3-0 Bridgehampton at that point, but it was the 4th inning where things really unraveled for the Amityville Warriors. The Warriors gave up 4 runs on 3 hits. There were 2 errors in the inning. And 1 man left on base. And right now, that's where we find ourselves. Warriors unable to get on the board yet. Across 11 innings against the ace, Kyle Versa of the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. Amityville's only scored 1 run. Versa finishing up his warm-up tosses. Again, it'll be Lucas Torres, senior right fielder, who'll be honored in between games. He'll be leading off for the Amityville Warriors, and Torres struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Right-handed thrower, left-handed hitter. Cooling off a little bit here in Selden, New York, but still a beautiful evening. Sun is setting behind the left center field wall. Outfielders playing fairly shallow. Third baseman even with the bag. And the pitch to the lefty Torres, he takes strike 1. The pitch chopped off the fist. It'll be a tough play. Ball in front. Alversa picks it up, fires over to first base. It's in the baseline. And we'll have to make sure everybody's okay. Torres is safe as the ball gets past McGonigal at first. Good backup by Gnip. The right fielder running over and making sure Torres is unable to get extra bases. But the umpires are going to come out and discuss things right now. Torres didn't really overrun the bag, which was a little strange. It looked like he was ducking out of the way of the throw. And a bit of a collision, contact between McGonigal and Torres over at first base. Looks like both players are okay. Go to Zider out just to make sure. So no runner interference called against Torres. Torres not with a lot of speed. We'll have to see what kind of lead he takes here, as Amityville would love to move the runners on a base hit. Armando Bonilla, the right-hander, steps in for the Warriors. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the 3rd inning. Torres with a healthy lead over at first as Bonilla looks at strike 1. 7-0 Bridgehampton out in front in game 1 of this doubleheader. And there's the pitch, just off the plate inside, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. So Torres reaches on the E1, has a lead, leaning back towards first. Alversa deals, ball low. 2-1 the count to Bonilla now. I think Bridgehampton has become familiar enough with the Warriors. This is their 3rd game in less than a week against each other. Alversa knows that Torres is probably not going anywhere. And there's the pitch. And it's grounded down the third base line. That's a fair ball. Fitzgerald will play it and get it in. Advancing to second on the play is Torres, and Bonilla has himself a single. So that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Sean Kruder. Kruder struck out looking in his first at-bat against Alversa. And it's like Torres is going to come out of the game. He gets a nice round of applause from the Amityville fan base and the bench. And we're going to get a pinch runner. Looks like Mason Nearing coming into pinch run for Torres. So hopefully Torres isn't hurt from the crash at first base as Kruder swings at a ball low and away for strike 1. And hopefully Coach Zeider just wants a little more speed on the bases so that somebody can score from second on a base hit. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here as the ball is in the dirt. Good stop by Tompkins behind the plate. And the count is 1-1. So Naring, who's an 8th grader, has some speed, leads off of second, and that pitch clips the inside corner. Kruder didn't like the call and finds himself behind in the count 1-2. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th, 7-0 Warriors trail. Runners at first and second. Alversa deals, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Kruder goes down on strikes for the second time today. So 1 away. And we go back to the top of the lineup. Aiden McCullough playing shortstop in game 1. He comes to the plate. 0 for 1 today, struck out looking in the first, reached on a walk in the third, stole second, but that is where he would be stranded. And McCullough looks at strike 1. Again, runners at first and second. Torres led off with an infield. Well, we're going to score it in E1, but came out of the game for pinch hitter Naring, the 8th grader, as that pitch is a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Bonilla followed with a base hit, and Kruder struck out swinging, and that's where we are with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. And the pitch. Strike outside part of the plate. And McCullough behind in the count, 1-2. If the Warriors can put the ball in play, there's a good chance they move the runners here. And that ball in the dirt, and the count evens up at 2-2. McCullough has seen a lot of pitches today. Full count in the first inning. Looked at 4 straight balls in the third, and now we are 2-2 here in the 5th. And the 2-2 inside, and the count goes full. So Alversa 1 pitch away from loading up the bases. 1 out here, bottom of the 5th, first and second. Full count. Alversa deals, and it's swung on and hit in the air to left field. Moving over, making the call, and dropping the ball is Fitzgerald. And we get a tag over at third base, so a strange play. The pinch runner Naring had to hold up because it appeared that was a can of corn for Tyler Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald drops the ball, but a heads-up play by Fitzgerald, quickly throwing it into third and tagging out Naring, even though it was technically a force at third. So interesting play there. You'll have to score that a fielder's choice for McCullough as he gets to first base. And Naring is out on the fielder's choice. And that pitch is grounded past the diving third baseman Kardakas into left field. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. And sliding in safely at home is Bonilla. And the Warriors will get their first run of the game as they cut into this lead. It is now 7-1. So a good piece of hitting by Sanchez, who swings at the first pitch he sees from Alversa and drives it down the third base line for a base hit. Give him an RBI on the play as well. And that will bring up Luciano, the catcher for the Warriors. He's 0 for 2 today. Popped out to shortstop in the first, flew out to right field in the fourth. Sanchez will move to second on the throw home. So runners at second and third as McCullough stands at third base. Here's the pitch. Inside corner for a strike on Luciano. Count is 0-1. Some ducks on the pond for Luciano. The Warriors are really a base hit away from getting back in this game. Still 7-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Game 1 of a doubleheader. There's the pitch, line right to shortstop and over Ford's head. 1 run will score. Cardacas fields it. He gets it in. 2 runs will score. And it's 2 RBIs for Luciano. And the Warriors now get their 3rd run, and they trail 7-3 as they're finally breaking through against Kai Alversa. Good piece of hitting for Luciano as he gets his first hit of the day. McCullough and Sanchez both come around to score. 3 runs plated for the Warriors here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still only 1 out. There's a pickoff throw over to first base. Luciano gets back. Tejada comes up, and we'll check in real quick. Actually, we'll keep it here for a moment. Tejada, 1 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to second. Had a base hit in the 4th inning. And Alversa checking the runner. Healthy lead over at first for Luciano. And there's another throw over to first base. Luciano back in plenty of time. Let's check in quickly with Aaron Kruder.
I'm here with Armando Bonilla, who just scored the first run for Amityville of this game. What are your thoughts so far on the game, Armando?
Nothing. I think we have it in us. We just need to put the ball in play. See, stuff like that can happen when we actually try. We're having fun. We could do this. We could come back. That's about it.
Good job so far. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. And a base hit for Tejada. So Tejada 2 for 3 on the day. Luciano moves over to second base, and the Warriors are still going here. They've definitely gotten to K. Alversa in the bottom of the 5th inning. They still trail 7-3. There's only one away here. And Borges is up, the designated hitter, 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out to shortstop and struck out back in the 4th inning. And diving back into second base is Luciano. Luciano, good lead off of second. Tejada only about 1 step off of first, not really being held on. There's the pitch, and it's off the end of the bat. A little blooper that's going to dunk into right field for another base hit. Coming around to score is Luciano, and the Warriors get another run here, and it's now 7-4. Bridgehampton out in front. So this has just turned into a ball game again in Selden, New York, game 1, and we are going to get a visit at the mound by Coach Lou Liberatore. We'll have to see if they leave Alversa in. And it looks like the Warriors have finally figured Alversa out here. So Borges comes through. Alversa will be left in the game. And Amityville, with Rosario coming to the plate, has now batted around here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the pitch swung on and missed. 0-1 to Rosario. Rosario, 1 for 2 on the day. Had a hit back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to shortstop. And there's a strike. Grounded out to shortstop back in the 4th. So Rosario finds himself behind in the count. Warriors trying to add on. They've already scored 4 runs here in the bottom of the 5th. And the pitch. And it's inside, but they're going to say that Rosario went around, so he strikes out, and that will do it. But the damage is done. Good inning for the Amityville Warriors as they score 4 runs, on 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. And at the end of 5 innings of play, we have ourselves a ball game again, as it is 7-4. Amityville trails Bridgehampton as we enter the top of the 6th inning. So the Warriors bat around and finally solve Kai Alversa. And we'll have to see if any changes are made here for the Warriors, as Lucas Torres came out for a pinch runner in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And it looks like Torres is back in the game. Again, varsity baseball, you can be substituted out and re-enter 1 time. So Torres back in the game in right field. And due up for Bridgehampton will be 9-1-2 as Darrell Sanchez gets the job done in the top half of the 5th inning. 3 up and 3 down. So it'll be Finn Alversa leading off, the number 9 hitter, followed by Ford and Tompkins. And Darrell Sanchez has not been able to solve Ford and Tompkins yet today. So we actually have a pitching change. So it looks like coming into the game to pitch is the shortstop, Aiden McCullough. So Darrell Sanchez will switch spots with Aiden McCullough, as Sanchez will go to shortstop, and McCullough comes in to pitch. McCullough will face the 9-1-2 hitters. Finn Alversa will lead things off. Finn Alversa, a 7th grader playing varsity baseball. And McCullough deals, and the first pitch outside, and the count 1-0 to the number 9 hitter, Alversa. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Count evens up at 1-1. (7-4) Bridgehampton in front, top of the 6th inning. Aiden McCullough seeing his first action on the mound today for the Warriors. And the pitch. Strike called. And the count 2-2. Pitch grounded right back to the pitcher, fielded at second base by McCullough, throws over to first in time. So Elijah McCullough makes the play for his pitcher, for his brother Aiden McCullough, and we have one away here in the top of the 6th.
Let's go, guys. Stay sharp, guys. Let's go. Let's focus up.
Back to the top of the order. Warriors have retired the last 5 hitters they've faced, but they've had a hard time with the top of the lineup today. Ford steps up and grounds a ball to second base. Fielded there by McCullough, and McCullough is 2 for 2, score at 4-3. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 6 straight retired now for the Amityville Warriors. Ford will have his line currently as 1 for 4 on the day. And Tompkins steps up. Tompkins 2 for 3, has a single, a triple, and that pitch goes all the way to the backstop. And count 1-0. Tompkins has also scored 2 runs today before striking out in the 4th inning. Cullen deals, and that one's ripped into left field. That'll be a base hit. Fielded cleanly by Bonilla. He gets it in quickly. So Tompkins gets his 3rd hit of the day. It's a 2-out single. And that will bring up the number 3 player, Gnip. Gnip 1 for 3. Had a base hit in the 4th, reached on an error back in the 3rd. Does have 2 stolen bases today. And first pitch, grounded over to 3rd across the diamond. Easy play for Tejada, and that will end the inning. So, good job by the Amityville Warriors as Bridgehampton finds themselves with no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. And at the end of 5.5, it's 7-4, Bridgehampton out in front. Warriors coming to bat. Amityville batted around last inning in the bottom of the 5th inning, putting 4 runners on. So it should start off with Lucas Torres once again. Torres reached on an error, made it to 2nd on a base hit by Bonilla, was pinch run for, and he should be leading things off. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Warriors, and now we will check in with Aaron Kruder.
So we just finished the 5th inning of the first game of today's doubleheader. And 5th inning, certainly we have to say, is the best inning so far for Amityville. 4 runs, an amazing defensive play. They allowed no runs on Bridgehampton's part. And if Amityville keeps this up, I think they have this game. They will do very well in the rest of the game. Let's hope they keep it up. Back to you.
Thanks, Aaron, and that's a good point. We'll see if Amityville can build on their momentum. And we'll actually have to see if Bridgehampton made a pitching change or if they're sticking with Alversa. And it looks like they will stick with the lefty. So we'll see if the Warriors can pick up where they left off last inning. Alversa finishing up his warm-up tosses. Again, it'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters leading off for the Warriors. Torres, Bonilla, and Kruder. Both Torres and Bonilla reached last inning. Bonilla would actually come around to score. Sun is just about ready to dip below the tree lines out in left center field. It's getting a little chilly here, but still a beautiful evening. No breeze. And we have a lot of baseball to go here as we find ourselves in the bottom of the 6th inning. Warriors still trailing by 3 runs. And senior celebration coming up in between the games, as well as game number 2. So Lucas Torres, who was pinch run for last inning, did re-enter to play right field, and he will go back up to take his at-bat. The right-hander bats lefty. And we are all set. Torres in the box. Alversa on the bump. And here's the first pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning. Fastball just off the plate outside to Torres, and the count is 1-0. Torres 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, reached on an E1 back in the 5th. And Torres swings and foul tips it off of Tompkins, the catcher. And the count, 1-1. And now a meeting at the mound as Tompkins wants to go out and have a chat with Alversa. The entire infield comes in to join him. And sometimes you see things like this in baseball just to give your players a chance to shake things off. I'm not sure if that ball hit the umpire or the catcher or both of them. But sometimes you just jog out, have a quick word to give the umpire, give your catcher a chance to shake off that foul tip. Everybody seems ready to go. And Alversa sets and deals the 1-1. Upstairs, chin high, and the count 2-1 to Torres. 2-1. Torres swings and misses, and the count evens up at 2-2. And the count goes full. Fastball just off the plate outside. We don't have the official pitch total, but Alversa has faced multiple full counts today. And here's the pitch, and it's grounded softly to second, fielded by Finn Alversa, and he bobbles it, recovers, throws to first, not in time. So Torres reaches on an error for the second inning in a row. Scored an E4 as Kaya versus brother couldn't pick him up. And for the second inning in a row, the Warriors have their leadoff hitter on base. And that will bring up Armando Bonilla. Bonilla 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit and scored a run in the last inning. The pitch, breaking ball, swung on a miss. Good pitch by Alversa. Bonilla would score the first run of the game for the Warriors as he takes inside. Torres leading off of first. Zider opting to not pinch run this time. If he pulls out Torres, he loses him for the rest of this game. Here's the pitch, and it's lined right up the middle for a base hit. Fielded cleanly in center field by Ari Kardakas, and Torres barely makes it to second base in time. But Bonilla gets a hit, so a leadoff error and a base hit. And once again, for the second inning in a row, the Warriors are in business. That brings up Sean Kruder. Kruder 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. Check swing. I'm going to say he held up, so ball 1 thrown to Kruder. Lights starting to come on here, at least the ones behind home plate. And there's a line drive up the middle, but it's grabbed there by the second baseman, Alversa. He throws over to first, not in time, but Alversa able to get Bonilla out at second base on the fielder's choice. As Kruder will move to first. No base hit for Kruder, but going to third on the play is Torres. So the Warriors will have runners at the corner with one away here. And now we get a meeting on the mound, but this time the Killer Bees are joined by their head coach. And question is, are we going to see a pitching change, or is Alversa going to remain in the game? 7-4, Warriors trailed 7-0 in this game before putting 4 runs up in the bottom of the 5th. They are threatening here again in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the lefty will remain in the game. That shows you the trust that head coach Lou Liberatore has in his stud left-handed pitcher. But have the Warriors figured him out? Back to the top of the lineup for Amityville. McCullough steps in, who was playing shortstop for most of this game, but came in to pitch last inning as a tossover by Alversa. Aiden McCullough on the day is 0 for 2. did walk back in the third, reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth, and came around and scored a run. And another throw over to first base. Kruder was off of first base by a half a step. Deadly pickoff move by Alversa. Again, runners at the corners, bottom of the sixth inning. Warriors trailing by 3. 1 out. And the pitch to McCullough. Strike inside corner. And the count 0-1. Alversa checks Kruder over at first. Torres leading off at third. The pitch swung on and popped up to third base in foul territory. Coming over, making the call and the catch is Alexei Kardakas. Almost crashes into Milo Tompkins, the catcher, but a good play by Kardakas to avoid the collision and make the catch. Scored an F5, and with 2 away, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, and that's Darrell Sanchez. Sanchez played shortstop last inning after starting this game on the mound for the Warriors. Pitched very well. Wasn't helped by the defense behind him. So with runners at the corners, there are 2 away here at the bottom of the 6th. Sanchez trying to find another RBI. And the pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. And the count 0-1. Sanchez 2 for 3 on the day. 2 base hits and a strikeout. Was also picked off back in the first inning. Kruder not taking much of a lead off at first. That ball in the dirt scooped up nicely by Tompkins behind the plate, and the count is even at 1-1. Kruder very timid at first base, trying to take a lead. Here's the pitch outside, and the count 2-1 on Sanchez. Torres on third, Kruder on first. With 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Warriors down to their final 4 outs as they still trail 7-4 in game 1 of our doubleheader. A reminder, stick around in between games as we honor the seniors here for Amityville. That pitch is upstairs. 3-1 the count now to Sanchez. Mason Rosario, Lucas Torres, the only 2 seniors on this Warriors team. A very young team with a bright future. Alversa stares down the runner and deals. Strike taken on the inside corner. Count now full to Sanchez. So, with a full count and runners at the corners, the merry-go-round will be up and running on this next pitch, at least for Kruder on first base. And throw over to first. They almost had Kruder picked off, but the throw goes over McGonagall's head. Torres will score from third. Kruder will move all the way to third base on the error. Alversa had Kruder picked off, but then threw the ball over McGonagall's head. So Torres scores on the E1. Moving to third is Kruder. And the Warriors have cut this lead down to 2. It's 7-5 now here in the bottom of the 6th inning with a runner on third. And that pitch is swung on and hit in the air to left field. Fitzgerald camps underneath it and makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Warriors are able to get 1 run on 1 hit, 2 errors, 1 left on base, and at the end of 6 innings of play, it is 7-5 Bridgehampton as we go into the final inning. 7th inning of play. We'll step aside briefly, but don't go anywhere. This game just got really, really interesting here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
And welcome back to Selden as we enter the top of the 7th inning. Bridgehampton on top of the Warriors by a score of 7-5. But this game looked like it was going to get ugly early for Amityville. But Amityville able to put up 4 runs in the 5th inning, 1 run in the 6th inning to cut into this lead. And now going back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work is Aiden McCullough, who pitched a very good 6th inning. In fact, the last 3 innings, the Warriors have done a very nice job against Bridgehampton. Last 2 innings, I should say. It was the 4th inning that really hurt Amityville as the Warriors gave up 4 runs to the Killer Bees. But it'll be the cleanup hitter and starting pitcher for Bridgehampton, Alversa, coming up to lead things off, followed by Kardakis and Fitzgerald. So your 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up this inning for Bridgehampton. Bridgehampton going to want to pad this lead a little more as Amityville has come from behind. It was 7-0. It is now 7-5. Here's the first pitch, just a little upstairs for a ball to Alversa, and the count is 1-0. McCullough throws the pitch. Grounded foul. Umpire begging Waldy Tejada to let it go, but he chases it down either way. Count is 1-1 to Alversa. Alversa 2 for 3 on the day. Struck out in the 3rd, has 2 base hits. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th. And there's a fly ball to left field. Bonilla tracks it down and pulls it in for the first out of the inning. So Alversa is retired, and Kardarkis will come up. Kardarkis reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 3rd, and grounded out to 3rd base in the 4th. So his line is 0 for 3 on the day. McCullough deals, and it's fouled straight back, and the count is 0-1. Time is out as the ball is retrieved. And we are ready to go. The righty Kardakis steps back into the box. And McCullough sets to deal the 0-1. Fastball just off the plate outside, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Sun just dipped below the tree line. It's not often that high school teams get to play a night game under the lights. Those lights should be coming on shortly as that ball is fouled out of play towards the right side. 1-2 now to Kardakis. So Kadaris steps back into the box. And the 1-2 by McCullough. Grounded towards second base. Diving and knocking it down is his younger brother McCullough, and he cannot find the baseball and make the play over to first. And looks like the ball might have hopped up and hit McCullough. So we get a timeout on the field as he's shaken up. Coach Zyder runs out onto the field. So we'll score that a base hit as that was a tough play. McCullough diving to his left to try to knock it down. Couldn't pick it up cleanly to make the throw over to first base. And it looks like Elijah McCullough will shake it off. Coach Zyder makes his way back to the Warrior dugout. And that will bring up Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald 0 for 3, struck out twice, both looking and swinging, and grounded out to second base back in the 5th inning. 1 out here, top of the 7th inning. Bridgehampton with a 7-5 lead over the Amityville Warriors in game 1 of a doubleheader. Kadaris leads off at first. And the pitch outside. Luciano able to keep it in front and keep Kadaris at first base, and the count is 1-0. Both of these teams fairly young. Fitzgerald just a sophomore as he fouls one straight back to the screen, just missing that. Count evens up at 1 apiece. Both benches trying to cheer their respective teammates on. Here's the 1-1. Strike on the outside corner. And McCullough gets ahead of the count. It's now 1-2 to Fitzgerald. One away here, top of the 6th. Runner on first. There's the pitch. Chopper over to third. Fielded by Tejada. He's got one play to make. It's over to first. Strong throw in time. So score it 5-3. And moving to second base is Kadaris. So Kadaris is in scoring position with 2 away here in the top of the 6th. 7-5, Killer Bees on top. And Ari Kadaris comes to the plate. So with his brother on second, Ari Kadaris looks at strike 1 from McCullough. Kadaris 1 for 3 on the day. Did have a double and scored a run back in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. And McCullough out in front, 0-2 on Kadaris, trying to wrap up this inning and give the Warriors a chance to complete the comeback in the bottom of the 7th. It's 7-5 right now. McCullough delivers the 0-2, and Kadaris battling, fouls it off to stay alive. The count remains 0-2. Game was started by Darrell Sanchez, who pitched very well. And now Aiden McCullough has come in relief, his 2nd inning of relief, and has pitched very well, has yet to give up a run and trying to finish off this inning. 2 away, top of the 7th, runner on second base, and called strike 3 on Kadaris, and that will end the top half of the 7th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. And at the end of 6.5, it's Bridgehampton 7 and the Warriors 5. It's down to the last licks for the Amityville Warriors, and due up for Amityville in the bottom of the 7th inning will be their 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Luciano, Tejada, and Borges. And we'll have to see who goes back to the mound, and it looks like Kai Alversa is going to try to finish this one off. He pitched a complete game against the Warriors last Saturday in which he struck out 16 Amityville Warriors. Amityville's cut that number in half today. 8 strikeouts for Alversa, but the last couple of innings, Amityville's been able to finally get to Alversa. So he's going to go out there and empty the tank. Sophomore has a bright future for the Killer Bees. But being that this is most likely his last appearance on the mound this season, he's going to give it everything he's got. Generally, you put your best hitter in the 3-hole, and that's where the Warriors will start off. Luciano, 1 for 3 on the day. Last 2 games against Bridgehampton, Luciano had 2 hits in Amityville's 2-1 win yesterday. And he's going to try to get things going here for the Warriors in the bottom of the 7th inning. Last licks for Amityville. They trail by 2, but at one point they trailed 7-0. Bridgehampton scored 2 runs at the top of the 1st, added 1 in the 3rd and 4 more in the 4th, but the Warrior pitching has been able to put up 2 zeros in the last 2 innings. Aiden McCullough in relief does the job, and now Amityville has a chance to complete the comeback. Luciano steps into the right-handed batter's box. Alversa is on the rubber, and we are set for the bottom of the 7th inning. Warriors trailing by 2. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and missed that ball about 6 inches into the left-handed batter's box. And the count 0-1 on Luciano. Luciano had a base hit and scored a run in the 5th inning, as that pitch is low and inside, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Warrior bench really into this. There's a chopper up the middle, going to be a tough play by Alversa, coming across the diamond and makes the play, as it's actually the shortstop Ford who cuts in front of Alversa, which is the right move with his momentum going towards first. He makes a strong throw. Good hustle by Luciano. Let's score it, the 6-4. And that'll bring up Tejada with 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Warriors trailing by 2. And the pitch. And it's fouled out of play towards the right side, and Tejada's behind 0-1. Alversa gets the sign, sets, and delivers the 0-1. Breaking ball for a strike. Good sharp break on that. Tejada down to his final strike. It's 0-2. Warriors trailing by 2. Nobody on here. Bottom of the 7th. 1 away. And here comes the 0-2 from Alversa. Grounded toward shortstop. Ford fields again. Fires over to first. Scooped by McGonigal, but he has to come off the bag to do a good scoop by McGonigal. But Tejada keeps things alive for the Warriors as he will reach on the E6. Borges comes to the plate. Borges reached in his last appearance back in the 5th inning. Runner on first base. Tying run at the plate. Ground ball, second base. Diving is Alversa. Has 1 play to make, and he can't do it as he gets past him and goes into right field. We'll score that a hit for Borges. And the Warriors have something cooking with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Warriors trailing by 2, but with runners at first and second. The winning run now comes to the plate in Rosario. Rosario on the day is 1 for 3. Had a single back in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and struck out in the 5th. A chance to come up big for the Warriors as he fouls off a tough pitch on the outside corner. 0-1. Coach Liberatore opting to allow Alversa to finish this game, at least to this point. And here is the 0-1. Inside check swing, and they're going to say he went. Tompkins quickly hustling to get to that ball. And it's 0-2 on Rosario. 1 out here. Bottom of the 7th, Warriors trailing by 2. Amityville has runners on 2nd and 1st. Tejada leads off at 2nd. Borges is on 1st. And Rosario is in the box facing an 0-2 hole. And the pitch, breaking ball way outside. Tompkins able to knock it down. Runners are moving. Sliding into third base in time is Tejada, and both runners move up. So now Amityville has 2 runners in scoring position on the wild pitch. Rosario still behind in the count, 1-2. Runners on second and third, one away here. Bottom of the seventh, Warriors trailing by 2. Alversa deals, breaking ball. Again, way outside. You have to wonder if fatigue is starting to set in. He did such a good job of locating that breaking ball throughout most of this game. Good eye by Rosario, and the count evens up at 2. And the 2-2. Fastball just off the outside corner, and Rosario goes from 0-2 to 3-2. With the Warriors trailing by 2. Runners on second and third. Rosario facing the full count. And there's the pitch swung on and missed. So Rosario goes down swinging, and Amityville is down to their final out. And it will be up to Lucas Torres. Torres 0 for 3. Did reach 2 times, once in the 5th and once in the 6th, both on errors. Did come around to score a run in the 6th inning, and now we're getting a meeting at the mound. Will they let Alversa finish this one out, or will they go to their bullpen to face Lucas Torres? Warriors trailing 7-5, bottom of the 7th inning, 2 away. This half inning started with a ground out by Luciano, a nice play by the shortstop Tate Ford. Then Tejada reached on an error as Ford made a good play, threw it across the diamond. Elliot McGonigal, the first baseman, made a nice scoop, but had to come off the bag in order to do so. Borges would get a base hit, and then both runners would advance on a wild pitch. Rosario just struck out, so now the left-handed hitting Torres comes up as the winning run. The tying run's on second and third, but Torres is also the last hope for Amityville as of right now. 2 away, bottom of the 7th, Amityville trailing by 2. And Alversa steps off the rubber. Torres steps out of the box. Alversa composes himself, and we're set to go. And once again, Alversa steps off the mound. Both players ready. Alversa sets and deals. Inside, breaking ball that didn't break. And the count is 1-0. And the pitch, strike called outside corner to Torres. Count evens up at 1 apiece. Runners at second and third, 2 away. Warriors trailing by 2. The senior Torres trying to keep the inning going for Amityville. The pitch, breaking ball, sweeps across the outside part of the plate, and the Warriors are down to their final strike. Torres is going to have to protect. And the pitch, outside. Count evens up at 2-2. Every Warrior player lined up along the fence. Bridgehampton doing exactly the same thing in their respective dugout on the first base side. The 2-2 from Alversa, looking for the complete game. Torres trying to keep things alive. Here's the pitch, just misses outside, and Torres works the count full. Runners at second and third, 2 away. Warriors trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Lucas Torres staring at a full count. Alversa trying to finish things off. Here's the pitch, and Torres swings and misses. And that will end the game. But give the Amityville Warriors credit. They made it very interesting. Good comeback, but it falls just short. And in the end, it's a final score of 7-5 with Bridgehampton on top. And for the Warriors in that inning, they get no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on bases. They come up just short and fall to Bridgehampton by a final score of 7-5. But don't go anywhere. We have lots of action left for you as we have our Senior Day ceremony coming up to honor the 2 Warrior seniors, Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres, as well as the second game of our doubleheader. So stay tuned. Lots of action to go on the Amityville Broadcasting Network senior ceremony coming up right after this.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
One game down and one to go as the Amityville Warriors come up short in their comeback bid against the Bridgehampton Killer Bees in Game 1 as they fall by a final of 7-5. For Bridgehampton, 7 runs on 10 hits, 4 errors, 6 left on base, 4 Amityville errors. And for the Warriors, 5 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors, and 8 men left on base. And now we have our Senior Day ceremony, and we are going to send things down to Coach Jack Zeider.
All right. Fortunately, we didn't get the opportunity to do this at our own field, but, you know, pretty nice around us right now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks to Mr. Grice and the broadcasting crew. Much appreciated. All right. 2 seniors, very, very special guys. All right. We're going to start with Lucas Torres. Okay. What's that? Oops. So, sorry about that. So, well, yeah, right here. That's perfect. So Lucas came to us as a junior. Awesome surprise. We loved it. He got along with everybody right away. This year, team captain, brings a lot, including his voice, which is much appreciated. He does everything all the time. Sets up, cleans up, at all the workouts in the off season. You know, just an excellent person to have on a baseball team, especially as a senior. He is a tremendous human, which definitely helps. And it's not just about his size. You know, he's a great person. He is a great person. All right, and it's not going to be something that is replaceable. We will have other DHs and right fielders, but we will not have Lucas Torres again. Lucas, we're going to give you something in a minute, but we will miss you. All right. All right, the next guy is like family. It's tough. He knows this is going to be tough. You know, we've known him for a very long time. Sorry, holding the mic close enough, but we've known him for a very long time. I'm working on it. Trying to avoid the tears. He knows how I feel about him already. And again, not able to be replaced. Not able to be replaced. All right. He will be missed, but I know that he's going to be back. I know Luke, and we're going to see him more. That's the best part about this every single time. All right? So I'm going to cut it short before I do start crying. Love you both. We got you something. Hopefully you guys can remember this. And, you know, always come back. You're always welcome here. Okay? All right. This one is for Lucas. This is for Mason. I hope that you guys enjoy. Do us a favor when you open it. Hold it up to the camera so Sydney can check it out. It is not a pepperoni pizza. Sorry. Yeah, take it out of the box. All right. Hopefully you guys like these. All right. All right. So big time shout out to all the guys on the team. Unbelievable job all year, and the parents for always supporting us there for everything that we need, and to Coach Reiner, Mr. Manley, and everybody at home. Very supportive all the time. You guys have to do one more thing for me, though, and go give your moms a hug. All right? All right. I'm sorry if they're sweaty. All right? All right. Guys, thank you very much. Thanks again to everybody at home. We really appreciate the support. We're going to go and try and bring this one back. Okay? Let's go get it.
Well stated, Coach Zeider, and a beautiful ceremony. Again, congratulations to the two seniors on this team, Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres. And again, one game complete. Amityville falls short 7-5 against Bridgehampton. Bridgehampton has won 2 of 3 games in this series so far, but we have to play 4. There's one more coming up in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my number one priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section, when Dad injured his back, when your basketball star tore his ACL. Opioids helped with the pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Opioids are powerful pain-reducing prescription medicines, but most people who are prescribed opioids don't finish their prescriptions. So millions of unused opioids are sitting in homes across the country. And tragically, more than 100 Americans die every day from overdoses involving opioids. What can you do to protect your family? Remove the risk of unused opioids from your home. Pills, patches, or syrups in drawers, purses, and cabinets, anywhere they might be hiding. To find out how to dispose of them properly, visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you can't measure it on your bathroom scale. Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own. You won't find a bipolar disorder by looking at a thermometer. Like many other health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a stick-on bandage. So the sooner you seek treatment, the better. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support. That's samhsa.gov/support.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing one day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
And welcome back as we get to start Game 2 between the Warriors and the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. We are all set to go for Game 2 of action. Matt Grice, Aaron Kruger, Sidney Blake, and Paul Cimino. First pitch upstairs for a ball. Game 2, the Warriors will be the road team, so they hit first. It's McCullough up first for Amityville, followed by Sanchez, Luciano, and there's a weak ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Cardaris. Throws across the diamond, not in time. Good hustle by McCullough as he beats it out for an infield single. Ari Cardaris playing shortstop for the Killer Bees. So let's just go through the whole lineup again. We'll start from the top. McCullough, Sanchez, Luciano, Tejada, Borges, Rosario, McCullough, Torres, and Bonilla is the lineup that will be faced by Tate Ford, who played shortstop in game number 1. He pitches to Milo Tompkins, who is catching 2 straight games. Sanchez steps in the box for the Warriors. Here's the pitch, and it's lined right up the middle, fielded by Cardaris. Throws over to first in time. Nice play, but moving over to second base on the play is McCullough. And there is one away here in the top of the first inning. Defense from left to right in the outfield, Tyler Fitzgerald, Ganip, and McGonigal. And in the infield from third to first, it's Alexei Cardaris, Ari Cardaris, Finn Alversa, and Kai Alversa, who gets to relax a little bit at first base after pitching a complete game victory in game 1. Here's the pitch. Swung on by Luciano and grounded towards the hole at shortstop, and there's nobody there, but falling down around third base will be McCullough, so he'll have to hold there. And Luciano, being very smart, moves to second on the play. So it's a base hit for Luciano, as it looked like Cardaris, the shortstop, was moving over to cover second base as McCullough was attempting to steal, and that's what allowed for the big gaping hole where the shortstop should have been. And heads up running on the bases for the Warriors, but again, McCullough falls down rounding third, so he'll have to stay right there. And Luciano is on second base after the base hit. And that brings up Tejada. The right-hander Tejada goes against the righty Tate Ford. Runners at second and third, one away, top of the first, no score. There's a chopper right back to the pitcher, throws it home, and the tag is made. Good tag by Tompkins as Ford's throw was up the line a little bit. And sliding home being called out is McCullough. And he looks like he's a little shaken up on the play. He gets up quick, though. Coach Zider wants to check on him, make sure it's all good. And McCullough is saying he is fine. But good play by Ford. So Tejada reaches first on the fielder's choice as McCullough is thrown out at the plate. And that will bring up the number 5 hitter for Amityville, Borges, who is pitching for Amityville in game number 2. Borges in game number 1 went 2 for 4, base hit. And with runners at the corners and 2 outs, here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Warriors jumping all over the first pitches by Tate Ford early on. Borges takes a pitch. And Ford gets the sign and deals, and it's sliced foul down the first base line, and the count evens up at 1-1. Luciano is on third. Tejada is on first, and it's a 1-1 count to Borges. Ford not paying attention to the runner on first. The sun is down. The lights are on. It is beautiful here as that ball is in the dirt. We're going to send it to the sideline of the field right now. Aaron Kruger has a quick story.
Just before, we saw Aiden McCullough shaken up after a tag out right before home base, but we saw Coach Zider immediately run up to him. But it's important to have coach-athlete relationships like that, and we really see that with Coach Zider, and how close he is to these players and how that really impacts this team. Back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. And a chopper in front of home plate, and looks like they called it foul. Good base running by Luciano just to make sure first. And Borges was kind of skipping down the line. He knew it was foul. He had fouled it off his foot, but the ball did trickle fair. Umpire called it foul immediately. And that evens the count at 2-2. Again, runners at the corners for the Warriors, who finished off game number 1 strong despite the 7-5 loss to the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. And Borges facing a 2-2 from Ford. Here's the pitch, grounded to third base. Kadaris has it. Fires over to first in time. Score it 5-3. And despite the fact that the Warriors get 2 hits, they end up stranding 2 on base, no runs, and no errors. And after half an inning, it's Warriors 0, Killer Bees coming to bat. And we'll get you lineups in just a moment, but this is a good chance to recap game number 1, a game in which the Warriors fell 7-5, but it was not as close as it appeared early on, as Bridgehampton scored 2 runs in the top of the first, a run in the third, and 4 more runs in the 4th inning with their ace stud pitcher on the mound, a guy by the name of Kai Alversa, who had struck out 16 Warriors last Saturday in an 11-1 victory, and he was staked a 7-0 lead. But in the 5th inning, Amityville put up a 4 spot on the board and then plated 1 more in the 6th. Going into the 7th inning, Warriors trailed by 2. They had an opportunity as the tying runs were on base and the winning run at the plate. Lucas Torres struck out to end the game, and Amityville fell by a final of 7-5. Bridgehampton has won the first game of this series, lost the second to Amityville yesterday by a score of 2-1, and now are up 2-1 in the 3 games. And this is game 4 and the final game of the year for both of these teams. It'll be Ford, Thompson, and Gnip due up to start the game. Alversa will follow. Then Kadaris, the other Kadaris, 2 brothers, Fitzgerald, McGonigal, and the younger Alversa will round out the lineup for Bridgehampton. For the Warriors from left to right in the outfield, Bonilla, Kruder, and Torres. In the infield from third to first, McCullough, Sanchez, McCullough, Rosario. Borges gets the start on the mound, and he'll be tossing to Luciano behind the plate for the 2nd game in a row. Warm-ups are done, and we are all set to go. So the Warriors finish their warm-up tosses, and again, what a beautiful night. The lights are on. The sky is dark, but illuminated by the lights around this complex, as we are in Selden, New York, a neutral site doubleheader. Game 1, Amityville got to be the home team. In Game 2, Bridgehampton will be the home team, which is why they are batting here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Amityville did not score in the top of the 1st, despite getting some traffic on the bases, and the first pitch hits forward right between the numbers, or at least it looked like it did. Guess he got out of the way of that. I don't know how he did that. That pitch was behind him. But instead of a hit by pitch, it's just a ball. And Borges will deal the 1-0. And inside. And the count 2-0 to open things up to Ford. Ford played shortstop in the first game. He's pitching Game 2. And there's a pitch for a called strike, and 2-1, the count for strike of the game thrown by Borges. And that one is ripped foul down the right field line over to the batting cages near the parking lot, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. Kruder and Torres, the center fielder and right fielder for Amityville, are shifted to their left as there's a pop-up behind home plate. That'll go out of play into the stands as the crowd ducks out of the way. And the count remains 2-2. So the 2-2 to Ford, and that one just misses by the letters, and the count goes full. 3-2 now. And the pitch just outside, and Ford is on with a lead-off walk. Good job by Borges to battle back after falling behind early in the count. But Ford ultimately wins the battle. And so he stands safely at first, and that will bring up Tompkins. Tompkins in game 1 scored 2 runs, had 3 hits, 2 base hits, and a triple. Huge lead over at first, and Luciano takes a look but doesn't throw it. Borges is going to have to pay close attention to Ford over at first base. Again, Ford with a very large lead. Borges takes a peek and deals. Ford takes off, pitch outside for a ball, throw to second base, goes into center field, nobody backing up, and that will send Ford over to third. And will score a stolen base and moves to third on the E2. So now there's a runner at third base with nobody out. And we'll see if Coach Zeider decides to bring the infield in to cut off the early run. And it looks like somebody literally tried to steal second as it came out of the ground, but they replace it. So Tompkins steps into the batter's box with the count 1-0, and that pitch is outside for a ball. 2-0 to Tompkins. Coach Zeider has his infielders playing about halfway, even with the base all the way around, so not trying to cut off that runner. McCullough holding on Ford at third, which is a little strange, and that ball is in the dirt. And that is the second walk of the inning issued by Borges. So now it's runners at the corners, nobody out, and the lefty Gnip comes to the plate. In game number 1, Gnip was 1 for 4 with a base hit, 2 stolen bases, did score a run, and he squares to bunt, pitches outside, and Luciano smartly holds on to that instead of throwing down to second with a runner on third base. So Tompkins gets a stolen base. And looks like Luciano is telling the infielders to bring it in, and they do. Everybody but shortstop. Now the third baseman backs up, and it's ripped to second base, but it's under the glove of McCullough. That'll allow 1 run to score, and a second run comes across the plate, so that'll be an E4. Worked out perfectly, but McCullough couldn't make the play, and Coach Zeider wants to go out and have a word with Borges here to stop the bleeding as 2 runs come in. And Bridgehampton has a 2-0 lead early in game number 2. So that'll bring up Alversa. Alversa, who hits righty but throws lefty, finds himself at first base for game number 2 after pitching a complete game victory in game number 1. 8 strikeouts, gave up 5 runs, not all of them earned, in a 7-5 win. Luciano having a final word with Borges. So 2 runs are in. There's a runner on first, 2 walks, and an E4. Still no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. And Alversa steps into the right-handed batter's box. In game number 1, He was 2 for 4 with 2 singles. He squares the bunt. Strike is called. Throw down to second base is not nearly in time as Gnip steals second. But a strike called on Alversa as he squared the bunt and didn't pull it back. So the count is 0-1. And another runner in scoring position now for the Killer Bees. And the pitch outside. Luciano reaches into the left-handed batter's box to catch it, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Both teams' benches cheering their teammates on. 1-1 is swung on and hit in the air to right field. Torres grabs it. Advancing to third on the play will be Gnip, but that's the first out recorded this inning, F9. And that'll bring up Kadaris. So Gnip stands on third, 1 away, 2 runs already in here in the bottom of the first. It's a 2-0 early lead for Bridgehampton. So Alexi Kadaris is up and looks at ball 1 outside. Borges sets and deals. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Borges pitching from the windup, despite the runner at third. And now he switches to the stretch, and that ball is chopped in the direction of shortstops, fielded by McCullough at third. And he throws to first. And that'll be in time, but it gets the job done. It won't be in time. Take it back. It called him safe. It looked like Kadaris was heading back to the dugout. So that's baseball sometimes. A weakly hit ball. Gets the runner in from third. Scored a base hit. And it's 3-0 Bridgehampton here in the bottom of the first inning. Ari Kadaris, the brother of Alexi, who now stands on first base, steps into the right-handed batter's box. Borges checks the runner over at first and deals. Swung and grounded to third. McCullough fields, fires to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. Good play, though. Started by McCullough, so scored a 5-4. And Kadaris will reach first base on the fielder's choice. So with 2 away now, there's a runner at first, and that will bring up the number 8 hitter, Fitzgerald. And in game 1, Fitzgerald was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and 2 groundouts. 3 runs already in for Bridgehampton. Borges trying to stop the bleeding. Taking off for second base, Luciano throws it down to second, and it's into center field, but this time Kruder is there to back it up. So a stolen base for Kadaris as he makes it into second. And Fitzgerald steps into the batter's box with a 1-0 count. Borges checks on a runner and deals outside, and the count 2-0. Again, Borges paying attention to the runner at second. Big lead. The 2-0. Outside count is 3-0. So Borges having a hard time finding the strike zone here in the first inning as he walked the first 2 hitters he faced. Ari Kadaris leads off of second. The 3-0 strike right down the middle, taking all the way, was Fitzgerald, and the count is 3-1. 3-0 Killer Bees, bottom of the first inning, 2 outs. Borges trying to get out of this. Kadaris stands in scoring position. And the 3-1. Chopped foul towards the Killer Bees dugout, and the count goes full to Fitzgerald. Amityville fell behind early in the first game of today's doubleheader. But you have to give them credit. They never gave up. There's a pitch, and it's well outside. And taking off for third base and making it easily will be Kadaris. And he makes it on the wild pitch. And Fitzgerald trots down to first base after Borges issues the third walk of the opening inning. That brings up the number 9 hitter, McGonigal. And there's a strike. McGonigal in the first game was 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, did have a walk, and would eventually come around to score. And now they have the runner trapped, but they're going to have to tag him out quickly before the run scores from third. They're not going to get the job done, so the run will count. The Warriors are in the rundown, and they call him out at first base. That was a close play, but the Warriors unable to get the out in time, so the run will come around to score. And after one full inning of play, 4 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on base. And after 1 inning of play, the Warriors find themselves in an early 4-0 hole. If there's one positive that you can say about this, it's the fact that, as I started to say before that last play developed, Amityville was in a 7-0 hole with only 3 innings left, and they almost crawled all the way back out of that hole, losing eventually 7-5. So even though you don't want to give up 4 runs early in the first inning, there is plenty of baseball left as the Warriors have 6 innings to try to eat into this lead that Bridgehampton has established early. I'm sure Coach Zyder is going to be speaking with Borges and Luciano, because in that first inning, Borges walked 3 hitters. He wasn't helped by an error by his second baseman, but things quickly spiraled out of control for the Warriors defensively. As we move into the top of the second inning, due up for the Amityville Warriors will be their 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Rosario, McCullough, Torres. And if anybody were to get on, Bonilla will come in. So the last play of the bottom of the first inning, you could say a 1-6-3, caught stealing for Fitzgerald on the base pads, but he was able to stay alive between the base pads long enough for Kadaris to score from third, and that's how Bridgehampton was able to get their 4th run. So we are all set for the top of the second inning. Here's a pitch off the fists of Rosario towards second base, and nobody's going to get there as Finn Alversa was playing very close to second. So it'll be a leadoff single for Rosario. And you have to feel pretty good if you're Amityville, because you finished up the last game strong. And in the first inning, the Warriors were able to get 3 people on base, but they couldn't bring anybody around to score. So that'll bring up Elijah McCullough, who is an 8th grader. He was victimized by the error in the bottom of the first inning, and McCullough gets plunked. So he'll gladly take first base. Rosario moves to second, as McCullough is hit by a pitch, takes the slow walk towards first, and that will bring up the right fielder, senior Lucas Torres, playing in his final game as an Amityville Warrior. I should mention also that Rosario, who is currently at second base after the leadoff hit, also playing in his final game as an Amityville Warrior. Both Rosario and Torres set to graduate in a little under 2 months, as Torres fouls off the first pitch. Torres in game number 1 was 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, did reach base twice on errors, and eventually did score a run. And a pickoff attempt, and quickly getting back to the bag was Rosario. Rosario's on second. McCullough's on first. Torres is at the plate. Nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Warriors trailing the Killer Bees in game 2 of a doubleheader, 4-0. And Torres pulls his front foot out and waves at a pitch on the outside part of the plate, so the count is 0-2. Tompkins sets up on the outside corner. The 0-2, a little upstairs, and the count 1-2 to Torres. Torres, a very good right fielder for the Amityville Warriors. 2 years on varsity as he transferred over from private school last year. Breaking ball, huge hook. And the backdoor breaking ball sinks Torres as he goes down looking. First out here in the top of the second inning. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the left fielder, Bonilla, with runners on first and second. Bonilla set, Ford set, and the pitch, strike, and the count is 0-1. In game 1 of the doubleheader, Bonilla, who batted 8th in that contest, was 2 for 3 with strikeout, 2 base hits, scored a run. Ford gets the sign, peeks at the runner, and deals the 0-1 way outside. That's going to get past Tompkins, and the runners will both move up. So score that a wild pitch. Rosario goes to third, and McCullough goes to second. And the count is 1-1 to Bonilla. Ford gets the sign, sets on the far left side of the rubber, and deals strike outside corner, and the count is 1-2 to Bonilla. The 1-2, breaking ball, and Bonilla fights it off, chopping it towards the Killer Bee dugout, so the count remains 1-2. Bonilla stays alive. Tate Ford has quite a hook. Torres was fooled on the backdoor breaking ball as he struck out looking right before Bonilla. Bonilla choking up on the bat with 2 strikes, and he swings and misses. So back-to-back strikeouts for Tate Ford. There's now 2 away. First 2 runners reached for Amityville. They had the same problem in the first inning. 2 runners left on base for the Warriors in the first inning, and now it goes back to the top of the order. Aiden McCullough. McCullough had a base hit, made it all the way to third on 2 fielders' choices, but eventually got thrown out at third base back in the first inning. McCullough has some ducks on the pond. Let's see if he can get a base knock and bring him in. Here's the pitch. There's that hook, and looks like it grazed his helmet, and it does. So the hook doesn't hook enough, and McCullough will take first base as he appears to be okay. So 2 hits batters in this inning. The Warriors have the bases loaded, but there are 2 away, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Sanchez. Sanchez grounded out to shortstop back in the first inning. And here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. Two outs, bases juiced. Warriors trailing 4-0. Top of the second inning in game 2 of a doubleheader. Final game of the season for both of these teams. There's a fastball that clips the outside corner, and the count evens up at 1. Ford sets and delivers. Swung on and chopped towards second base. Aversa grabs it and loses the handle. Everybody safe, and a run will score for the Warriors. tough play for Alversa as he had to travel a long way to get there. Score that an infield single. And everybody moves up as the merry-go-round gets started. So this time, the Warriors able to get on the board. And it's 4-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Still bases loaded. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, catcher, Luciano. Warrior bench really cheering for their team now. And there's a grounder towards first. Fielded there by Alversa. Runs over, steps on the bag, and that'll do it. Scored a 3 unassisted. And that ends the inning for the Warriors. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, Amityville trails 4-1. So far today, Amityville has left 5 people on base over the first 2 innings. That's the difference in the game right now. Both pitchers having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. In that last half inning, Tate Ford, 2 hits batters. And for Borges for Amityville, walked 3 batters in the first inning. We'll have to see if he settles down. His control gets a little better. Coach Zeider out to warm up Borges as Luciano has to put the gear on after making the last out in that inning. It'll be 9-1-2 due up in the bottom of the second for the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. McGonigal, Ford, and Tompkins. McGonigal was at the plate when the bottom of the first inning ended on what was a strange play. There were runners at the corners and a huge lead by Fitzgerald on first base after getting walked. So Borges threw over to first base, caught Fitzgerald in a rundown. Bakar Daris was also at third, so he took off for home, and the Warriors had to try to tag out Fitzgerald before the run scored. They were unable to do so. So Fitzgerald is caught stealing or picked off, but the run did end up scoring, and McGonigal gets to restart his at-bat. So again, 9-1-2 coming up for the Killer Bees. Right now, Bridgehampton on top 4-1 as we enter the bottom of the second inning in Game 2 of a doubleheader. We have the windows wide open here in the press box as Matt Grice, Aaron Kruder, Cindy Blake, Paul Semino bringing you tonight's action on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And it is just a beautiful night. Nice breeze coming in here. The lights are on at the field, turf field. No bad hops today, and a lot of really good, fun, clean baseball so far. But a lot of baseball still to be played as the Warriors finish their warm-up tosses, and we are set for the bottom of the second inning. So coming up to the plate for the second time to complete what is officially his first at-bat is McGonigal. Luciano has a quick word with Borges as he trots back to home plate. And we are all set. Borges looks in at Luciano. Gets the sign. And Borges deals. Swung on and missed. Off speed. And McGonigal is down in the count, 0-1. And there's a ball outside, so the count evens up at 1 apiece. Warrior infield playing even with the bag at the corners. Shortstop, second base, maybe 1 step behind as that ball's fouled straight back, 1-2. Bonilla in left, playing to pull. Kruder straight away in center field. And Torres pretty much straight away in right. The pitch just missed. And the count evens at 2-2. Borges seems to be working faster this inning, maybe trying to get into more of a rhythm as that pitch is up. And the count goes full to McGonigal. 2 walks to start the bottom of the first inning, set up a 4-run inning for Bridgehampton. And Inning number 2 starts exactly the same way as McGonigal draws a walk. Back to the top of the order now. Ford walked in the first, stole second base, made it to third on an error from the throw down to second by Luciano, and would eventually come around to score. Borges checks the runner, squaring to bunt is Ford, pulls it back as that pitch is high, and the count is 1-0. So a bunt right in front of the plate. Luciano feels it, throws over to first, pulls Rosario off the bag. Good backup by Torres. He gets it in quickly to prevent any runs from scoring, but mistakes by the Warriors as they're not able to get that run across. And I apologize, Ford was not up. It takes 9 to fill out a lineup, and the number 9 hitter is the younger Alverson. So he lays down what should have been a sacrifice bunt. Instead, an E2 allows him to reach safely at first. But again, good backup by Torres, ensuring that no runners scored. And now we have a meeting on the mound. And we'll have to see what Coach Zeider decides to do. So Finn Alverson, who in game 1 went 1 for 3 with a base hit and 2 groundouts, is able to get himself on. Score that in E2. And moving to second on the play was McGonigal. So it'll be runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. And we are going to get a pitching change. Coming into pitch will be Aiden McCullough. So Coach Zeider, seeing that his starter Borges is having a hard time finding the strike zone, decides to call in the righty. Aiden McCullough pitched the final 2 innings of game 1. Came in, pitched very well. Gave up 2 singles and no runs. So he does have 2 innings on his arm already tonight. It's the last game of the season, though, so Coach Zeider opts to go back with Aiden McCullough. And there's a pitch strike on the outside corner. Now we are back to the top of the order. And it's the lefty Ford who is up. And the count evens up at 1 apiece. And the pitch hit on the ground to second base and through the wickets of McCullough. It trickles into right field where Torres will pick it up. Wide turn around to third for McGonigal, but no runs will score. So score that in E4. And the bases are juiced with nobody out here in the bottom of the second and Tompkins at the plate. So there's a strike as the bases remain loaded. Nobody out here, bottom of the second inning. Aiden McCullough tasked with pitching the Warriors out of a jam. They trail 4-1. There's the pitch, and it's hit back to the screen. 2 strikes now on Tompkins. And here's the pitch. And it's hit hard into the gap between left and center, but moving over is Bonilla. and he drops the ball. So the merry-go-round will start. 1 run comes in. Here comes another. Here's the throw to the plate. Bounces on the high turf over the catcher's head. 2 runs will score on the E7, and the bleeding continues here for Amityville. It is now 6-1. Bridgehampton out in front. So that'll bring up Gnip. Gnip reached on an E4 in the first inning, stole second base, would eventually come around and score his team's 3rd run of the game. Lefty steps into the box, and here's the pitch, and it's sliced foul towards the Warrior dugout, and the count is 0-1. Breaking ball, clips the outside corner. And the count is 0-2 on Gnip. And the 0-2, low and inside. Count 1-2. 2 runs in this inning. 6-1 overall. Bridgehampton out in front of the Warriors. It started with a walk followed by an error on a bunt. Followed by an error by the second baseman, followed by an error by the left fielder as Gnip strikes out looking for the first out of the inning. So McCullough starts off by doing his job, but there's still more work to do as there's runners at second and third, trying to keep this game within reach. And that pitch is a ball. So the count is 1-0 to Alversa. Alversa pitched a complete game in Game 1, getting the win. 7-5 win for the Killer Bees. Here's the pitch. That one's low. Luciano can't find it, and the runners do not move up. Alversa put up the stop sign as even though Luciano couldn't find it, the ball was within 2 feet of him. Probably the right move. 2-0 now to Alversa. And the pitch. Strike outside corner, 2-1. Alversa flew out to right field in his first at-bat in the first inning. And the pitch just a bit outside. And the count is 3-1. I'm sure the message to McCullough was throw strikes. First base is open. Here's the 3-1, and it's low. Now first base is occupied by Alvaro. Five walks in 1 1/3 innings of play so far. As here's a strike on the breaking ball to Kadaris. Alexei Kadaris got a base hit back in the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 away, bottom of the second. As there's a swing and a miss. 0-2 now to Kadaris. 6-1, Bridgehampton in the lead, looking for more. And the pitch, swung on and missed. And Kadaris goes down swinging, so McCullough comes in and strikes out 2, sandwiched between a walk. And with 2 away, that brings up the number 6 hitter, Ari Kadaris. Bases still loaded. McCullough deals, and it's grounded towards second. Diving and knocking it down is McCullough, but that's all he's going to get. Now a runner's coming home. The throw to the plate, not in time, but here's the throw down to third, The tag is applied, and the umpire calls him out. So that will end the inning, but not before a couple more runs come in. And at the end of 2 innings of play, it is 8-1, Bridgehampton in the lead. We'll step aside for just a moment. Warriors coming about, top of the third in just a minute, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
I'm Jose. I work construction. My day starts at 4 a.m. Life's tight, but I eat right by choosing 1 day a week to prep multiple meals with healthy recipes. Then I freeze the extra. I save money by bringing lunch to work. Then dinner is already made. Life just got easier, and I have more time to spend with my family. To learn how to eat right when life's tight, visit snapedny.org to learn more.
SNAP-Ed is funded by USDA Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
And welcome back here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network as we come to you live from Selden, New York, neutral site for a doubleheader, final games of the season between the Amityville Warriors and the Bridgehampton Killer Bees. Bridgehampton victorious in Game 1. They opened up an early 7-0 lead, but give credit to Amityville as they came all the way back, ended up falling short 7-5. Game 2 is turning into a familiar story, though. The Amityville Bats have been more awake, but they really haven't been able to get the big hit. The Warriors have left 5 men on base so far, and they currently trail 8-1 as we get set to start the top of the third inning. And for the Warriors, it'll be their cleanup hitter leading off. And here's a pitch. Grounded right back to the pitcher. Ford takes his time, throws over to first. 1 pitch, 1 out as Tejada grounds out. Score that a 1-3. And that'll bring up their number 5 hitter, Borges, who started on the mound for the Warriors, got pulled, having difficulty throwing strikes. He moves over to third base. His first at-bat in the first inning, grounded out to third. Here's the pitch, strike on the outside corner. And the count is 0-1. Amityville in that last half inning committed 3 errors. They have 4 errors in the game so far as that pitch is up and in. 1-1 is the count. So Bridgehampton was able to score 4 runs in the bottom of the second inning without actually registering a hit. Warrior bench still in it. That ball low and away, and the count now 2-1 to Borges. Borges trying to pick himself up. Tate Ford on the mound, and he deals just a bit outside, and it's a 3-1 count to Borges. Last inning, Ford was a little wild, hit 2 Warrior batters, but was able to strike out 2 Warriors and get a weak ground ball to first base as that pitch is well outside, and Borges issues his, or I shouldn't say Borges, I should say Ford issues his Third free pass, this time to Borges. So the Warriors, for the third time this game, have their leadoff runner on base. And that'll bring up Rosario, the senior, who had a base hit in his first at-bat, advanced on a wild pitch to third, and eventually scored a run in what will end up being his final game here as a Warrior as he graduates very soon. Here comes the pitch, and a toss over to first, and we're going to check in with Aaron Kruder.
All right, I'm here with Emerald Warrior Sean Kruder, and there's a lot of enthusiasm coming in the dugout right now. So what's your game plan for the rest of the game today?
We just want to put the bat on the ball, keep running. We got to fix our mistakes on defense, but, we got to support them for the dugout, and that's what everybody's hearing right now.
Thank you. Good luck. Back to you.
Ground ball to second base, fielded by Alvarcera to second, back to first, in time. It's a double play, 4-6-3. Great defense for Bridgehampton. And that erases all the runners on the bases. And the inning comes to a quick close. So 4-6-3 double play. And at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it's still 8-1 Killer Bees on top of the Warriors. You don't see a lot of clean double plays turned like that at the high school level. That was started by Finn Alvarcera, who fielded it cleanly at second base, flipped it over to Ari Kadaris, who then made a strong throw back to Kai Alversa over at first for the 4-6-3 double play. So 3 innings in a row where the Warriors get their leadoff hitter on, and they only plate 1 run. So that inning for the Warriors, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on base. Amityville finds themselves in a big hole, their final game of the season, and Bridgehampton is coming to bat in the bottom of the third inning, and they will be sending up their 7, 8, 9 hitters. It'll be Fitzgerald, McGonigal, and batting ninth, Finn Alversa. It's the 7th grader who reached on an error back in the second inning and would eventually come around to score. And we are all set to go. Luciano goes out and has a quick chat with Aiden McCullough, who started last game at shortstop and pitched the final 2 innings for the Warriors, giving up no runs. Started this game at third base, but had to come in for Borges, who was having trouble finding the plate. So Aiden McCullough is in his second inning of work now here in game 2, and there's a breaking ball that clips the inside corner to start things off with a strike to Fitzgerald, and the count is 0-1. Bridgehampton up 8-1, bottom of the third. Pitch low and outside, count evens up at 1 apiece. Bonilla in left, playing Bridgehampton to pull is a healthy cut by Fitzgerald, swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2. Kruder just to the right side of second base. Torres straight away and right. That pitch is inside, just off the plate, and the count even at 2-2. McCullough gets the sign and deals the 2-2. A little low, and we have a full count on Fitzgerald. And that'll be ball 4. So that's the 6th walk of the game issued by Amityville pitching. It's also the 3rd consecutive inning where Bridgehampton gets their leadoff man on base. They scored 4 in the first, 4 in the second without registering a hit, And they're off to a good start here in the third. As there's a pitch, breaking ball, clips the inside corner. And it's 0-1 to McGonigal. Fitzgerald leads off first. Upstairs for a ball, count 1-1. Fitzgerald back in the first inning, got himself caught in a rundown, in a caught stealing, but was able to maintain that rundown long enough for Cardenas to score before the third out was registered. And there's a ball in the dirt. Luciano blocks it, but there'll be no play at second base as Fitzgerald easily heads into second. So that'll be a pass ball on the catcher as Fitzgerald moves into second base into scoring position. And the pitch. Strike inside corner. Count is 1-2 to McGonigal. McCullough deals the 1-2. Strike 3 called. So McGonigal goes down looking. And that'll bring up Finn Alversa. He had bunted in his first at-bat. It was fielded by Luciano, but the throw to first base was errant. So Alversa reached on the E2. Now he has an opportunity with a runner in scoring possession to bring him home. Slow grounder to short, fielded by Sanchez. Throws across the diamond in time. Fitzgerald moves to third on the play. But there are now 2 away. So with a runner on third and 2 away here in the bottom of the third, we go back to the top of the order with Ford. And the pitch. Strike, outside corner, backdoor breaking ball, and the count 0-1. Third base is an important run. Warriors trailed by 7 in game 1. Almost came back. They trail by 7 right now. Don't want to let that run score from third. There's a pass ball. Quickly, McCullough runs in and backs up home plate as Luciano chases it down, and staying put at third is Fitzgerald. Smart play. You have your leadoff hitter up at the plate. Give him a chance to knock you in. The lefty Ford walked in his first at-bat, reached on an E4 in his second at-bat, and scored 2 runs. And there's a cut and a miss. So the count is 1-2 to Ford. Runner on third, 2 away, bottom of the second inning. 8-1 Bridgehampton out in front in game 2 of our doubleheader. And that pitch is way outside. Luciano leaves the catcher crouched to go get it. And the count is even at 2-2. And the pitch. Just a little high. And another full count. Second full count that Ford has seen today in game number 2. First time against McCullough. And there's the pitch that swung on and hit in the air to center field. Kruder chasing it down, backpedaling, makes the catch, and that'll do it. So score it in F8, and at the end of 3 innings of play for Bridgehampton, they get no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left on base, and at the end of 3 innings, it's 8-1 Bridgehampton out in front. Most of the time to play a doubleheader, it's usually on a Saturday with a 10 a.m. start time because it gets dark and you can't play games at night. But the town of Brookhaven has been gracious enough to allow Amityville and Bridgehampton to come here tonight to Selden, New York, to this beautiful facility and play under the lights. So even though this is the last game of the season, the Warriors know their season is done after this. What a great way to finish a doubleheader, playing on a beautiful turf field. They got the perfect night for baseball. And they also had the opportunity to honor their 2 seniors early on in Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres. As we get set for the top of the 4th inning, it'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for the Amityville Warriors. So the younger McCullough, the 8th grader, he will lead things off, followed by Torres and Bonilla. McCullough reached in inning number 2 as he was hit in between the numbers by a pitch. Lucas Torres and Bonilla would end up striking out. But if there's one thing, you know this Warrior team will not have lost any confidence. They know they can come back, and they've actually played very well in terms of getting people on base. But that's where it's ended. It's 8-1. The Warriors have left 5 people on base. All 5 were in the first 2 innings. In inning number 3, Amityville did get Borges on first because of a walk, but Rosario hit in a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Tate Ford continues to take his warm-up pitches as the outfielders throw their warm-up tosses. Coach Reiner, who's assistant coach for Amityville, has a quick chat with the umpire and makes his way over to the first base coach's box. Throw down to second. Everybody's warmed up and ready to go here as we enter the top of the 4th inning. Final game of the year, and a bright future ahead for both of these programs, both very young teams, as the 8th grader, Elijah McCullough, steps into the box for the Warriors. Tate Ford, also only a sophomore for Bridgehampton. He always sets on the far left side of the rubber, deals his first pitch low and outside, and we are underway here in the top of the 4th. The 1-0. Swung on and popped up in the infield. Giving chase is Cardaris, and he makes the call on the catch in foul territory. 1 away. That brings up senior Lucas Torres. Hitless in game 1, struck out in his first at-bat in game 2. You know he would love to get a hit in what will wind up being his final high school game. And Torres fouls one out of play into the parking lot, 0-1. Ford set to deal the 0-1. And Torres, check swing, fouls it straight back, and the count is quickly 0-2 on Torres. So Torres going to have to go into protect mode. Torres brought his cheer squad with him tonight, rooting him on. And here's the pitch, breaking ball, backdoor breaking ball. That's the same pitch that he struck out looking on back in the 2nd inning. So Torres takes the seat for the 2nd time tonight, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Bonilla. Bonilla struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. 2 outs here, top of the 4th. Warriors trail 8-1. Final game of the season, 2nd game of a doubleheader. And Ford deals. Check swing. Did he go? They check down at first base, and they say no, he did not. So the count is 1-0. Ford gets the sign and delivers. High strike outside corner, and the count evens at 1 apiece. And swung on and missed. Bonilla chased the high strike, and Bonilla finds himself in a 1-2 hole. Armando Bonilla Jr., so he has one more year with this team. but wants to finish this season strong. Breaking ball just misses the inside corner, and the count evens at 2-2. Ford's been doing a nice job with that breaking ball tonight, catching several Warriors off guard. And the pitch, fastball swung on and missed. So Bonilla goes down swinging, and the Warriors' half inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And at the end of 3.5, it's Bridgehampton 8 and Amityville 1. So let's recap how we got to this point so far. In game number 1, Amityville went down early. In fact, they put themselves in a 7-run hole after giving up 2 runs in the top of the first, 1 in the top of the third, and 4 in the top of the fourth. But then the pitching and the defense stepped up. They were able to shut down Bridgehampton the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. And their offense started to wake up. Amityville scored 4 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and had the winning run at the plate in the 7th, but could not get it done. Game 2 has been similar in that the Warriors find themselves in a 7-run deficit. They currently trail 8-1, but this game's been a little different, a little sloppier for the Warriors. They've issued 6 free passes, and they've also committed 4 errors, 3 errors alone in the 2nd inning, in which 4 runs scored without anyone registering an official hit. So Amityville needs to tighten up defensively. Aiden McCullough entered the game in relief of Borges and has done a better job of getting the ball over the plate, throwing strikes. In the 3rd inning, the Warrior defense and the pitching settled down in the 1st inning where they did not give up a run. So we'll have to see what happens here in the 4th, because if Amityville wants to have an opportunity to come back in this game, they really can't afford to give up any more runs at this point. So the Warriors finish their warm-ups. Aiden McCullough finishes his tosses. And due up for Bridgehampton will be the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters. It'll be Tompkins, Ganip, and Alversa. Luciano having a quick conversation with his pitcher. And we are all set to go here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tompkins steps in. He has reached base safely twice today, once on a walk, once on an E7 as he fouls one straight back. Tompkins has also scored 2 runs and has a stolen base. In fact, of his 6 plate appearances going back to game 1, he has reached base every single time but one when he struck out. There's the pitch, fouled straight back again. So 2 good cuts from Tompkins as he's just missing Aiden McCullough's pitch. But McCullough's in front, 0-2. So Tompkins going to have to shorten his swing and protect. McCullough deals, and a good swing for Tompkins to stay alive, and we'll do it again. It's still 0-2. So McCullough sets and deals. Hit in the air to center field high, fairly deep. Camping under it is Kruder. He makes the catch, so Tompkins gives it a ride, but there's one away here in the bottom of the 4th. So Kruder being tested as he made the last 2 putouts for the Warriors. And that'll bring up the lefty, Ganip. Ganip 0 for 2, did reach on an error in the 1st inning, stole second, scored a run as he fouls one off. The count is 0-1. Struck out in the 2nd inning looking. And that was actually the first batter that Aiden McCullough, actually the second batter that Aiden McCullough faced, the first batter that McCullough retired. And the pitch inside for a ball, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Borges in at third on the grass, guarding against the bunt or a soft ground ball. That's not soft at all as Gnip rips one foul down the third baseline. And the count is 1-2. McCullough sets and deals to the lefty, the 1-2, and it's behind him. Nobody on base, no harm, no foul, so the count evens up at 2 apiece. One out here, bottom of the 4th inning. Bridgehampton leads the Warriors by a score of 8-1. And the pitch fouled straight back. So the count remains at 2-2. Good battle here between McCullough and Gnip. And the pitch. Breaking ball just misses the corner. And the count goes full, 3-2. So a full count now to Gnip. And here's the pitch. Swung on and ripped down the third base line, but that's going to hook foul. So we'll do it over. Full count to Gnip. One away here in the bottom of the 4th. Alversa awaits on deck. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Good pitch by McCullough. As Gnip goes down, swinging his second strikeout of the game. 4th strikeout for McCullough since entering back in the 2nd inning. And that'll bring up Alversa. Alversa flew out to right field in the 1st inning. Walked in the 2nd inning and ended up being thrown out at third for a fielder's choice. So he comes up with the bases clean. McCullough has come in and done the job to settle things down as there's a breaking ball that lands inside. So the count 1-0. Infield playing even with the bases all the way around. Breaking ball kind of hangs inside, and the count is 2-0 to Alversa. Alversa playing first in game number 2. Pitched all 7 innings in game number 1. Has pitched 14 innings against the Warriors in this series as he gets on top of that one and rolls it towards third. Fielded by Borges across the diamond in time. Score at 5-3 and a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Amityville Warriors. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base. And after 4 innings of play, Bridgehampton is still on top by a score of 8-1. You're watching Warriors baseball right here. Doubleheader, final game of the season and senior day here in Selden, New York. And we'll be right back after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk back here. You can do it if you try.
And welcome back. Selden, New York, this beautiful complex here as the Warriors and the Killer Bees meet at a neutral site. Final day of the season, final few innings here, and the breaking ball is behind McCullough, who is now on the mound and is doing a very good job for Amityville. He leads off for the Warriors. It'll be their number 1, 2, and 3 hitters. McCullough, Sanchez, and Luciano due up for Amityville. Top of the 5th inning, as that ball is in the dirt. Top of the 5th inning, Bridgehampton up 8-1 over the Warriors. McCullough trying to get things started, help himself out on the mound. Tate Ford still on the hill. He deals outside. 3-0 now to McCullough. McCullough had a base hit back in the first inning, was hit by a pitch in the second. So he's been on base both times he's been up. And there's a strike from Ford, and the count is now 3-1. And the pitch. Strike on the outside corner, and now the count is full. So good job by Tate Ford battling back after finding himself in a 3-0 hole. Now McCullough has to protect. And the pitch. Strike 3 right at the knees. So McCullough doesn't take his bat off his shoulders. He goes from 3-0 to striking out looking, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Sanchez. Sanchez, shortstop here in the second game, grounded out to shortstop and had a base hit back in the second inning. And here's the pitch, and it's lined to third, played on one hop to Kardakis across the diamond in time. 5-3, and Sanchez is quickly retired, and now it'll be the number 3 hitter, Luciano. Had a base hit in the first inning, made it all the way to third, but Amityville couldn't plate him. Grounded out to the first baseman back in the second inning. And now Luciano jumps into the box for his third at-bat of the evening. Warriors trailing 8-1 to Bridgehampton. And Luciano gets hit. Looks like he might have gotten hit in the back or the back of the head. And he is down. Quickly, both coaches from the two teams run out and gather around. Coach Zeider telling his guys to back off. Luciano's had a long day catching both games for the Warriors, which you get beat up enough behind the plate. Coach Zeider talking with him as he's camped out right on home plate right now. He's sitting up, so that's a good sign. Not sure where that ball got him, if it was in the helmet, potentially the back, or even the back of the neck. Kind of an awkward pitch, breaking ball that didn't quite break. Coach helps his player up to his feet, gets a round of applause from the crowd. And by the movements that Coach Zeider is doing with him, it looks like he's checking on his neck. Luciano's a catcher, so you know he's tough, and he's going to stay in there to the joy of his teammates. So Luciano trots down to first base. He appears to be okay. Third hit batter in the game by Tate Ford, who's been otherwise very good. And now he'll have to deal with Tejada. Tejada, the DH here in game 2, now has Luciano on first base. Tejada reached first on a fielder's choice back in the first inning and grounded out to the pitcher in the third. And immediately, Luciano takes off for second base. Here's the throw. Safe. Close play. Nice throw by Tompkins. And that's something the Warriors were really not able to do back in game number 1 because of the pickoff move by the lefty pitcher Kai Alversett. So Tejada steps back in. Here's the pitch. There's a strike. And the count evens up at 1 apiece. Warriors trailing 8-1, top of the 5th inning. 9:50 at night. It's possible this game may be called at some point as there's a strike on the outside part of the plate due to a curfew time in the town of Brookhaven. We'll keep you posted on that. This may be the last inning. It may not be. Again, game 1, Warriors trailed by 7, came all the way back and fell just short 7-5. Running to third is Luciano, and he slides in there safely. Third base pops right out of the hole over there, but Luciano appears to be fine after getting hit by the pitch. So he steals second base and third base cleanly. 2 good throws by Tompkins, but Luciano had too good of a jump. 2-2 to Tejada. Here's the pitch outside, and the count goes full. So Luciano leads off the third. Tejada's at the plate. 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Bridgehampton up by a score of 8-1. And the pitch, breaking ball, and a check swing, and Tejada goes down. And that will do it here in the top of the 5th inning. Warriors, no runs, no hits, 1 left on base. And at the end of 4.5, Amityville still finds themselves in a hole. It's 8-1, and the Warriors take the field, so we're going to keep going here. Bridgehampton being the home game here in game number 2 leads me to believe that Amityville will get at least 1 more at bat in the top of the 6th inning. So let's recap where we are in game number 2. Game number 1, the Warriors were the home team. This game, they were the away team, so they got first at bat in game number 2. And actually started off very well. Base hit by Aiden McCullough, who started this game at third base, ended up coming in relief pitch. Sanchez grounded out to shortstop. Luciano had a base hit, made his way all the way to third. Borges would end up grounding out to third base, and the Warriors would end up stranding 2 runners. In the second inning, Amityville would also end up stranding 3 runners on base, even though they were able to get 2 hits. Their bats have pretty much gone quiet since then. Inning number 1 for Bridgehampton started off with a couple of walks, an error, a couple of stolen bases, a base hit, a fielder's choice, another walk, and in the blink of an eye, the Warriors found themselves in a 4-run hole. The second inning, things got worse. 3 errors, 4 runs, and no hits for Bridgehampton to take an 8-0 lead. Since then, Aiden McCullough has come into the game in relief and has done very well. And remember, he closed out game 1 also, pitching the final 2 innings and putting up zeros on the board. He's given up no earned runs in this game. I believe all the runs are either unearned or given to Borges, who started this game for the Warriors on the mound. So McCullough goes to work again for his 4th inning of work. It's the bottom of the 5th, and there's a swing and a miss by the number 5 hitter. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Bridgehampton. Kadaris, so Alexi and Ari, and there's ball fouled into the parking lot. So quick 0-2 on Alexi Kadaris, Ari on deck, and Fitzgerald in the hole. The 0-2 by McCullough. just outside, and the count 1-2. Infield playing even with the bag. Outfield not very deep. Playing to pull. And there's a pitch, and actually going to right field, Torres. Long run for him. He's not going to get there. Going for two is Kadaris. Torres picks it up. Fields gets it in. And safely heading into second base with a stand-up double is Alexi Kadaris. So a leadoff double for Bridgehampton, and that will bring up his brother, Ari Kadaris. So the Warriors playing to pull, and Alexi Kadaris does a nice job of going with the pitch and hitting it the opposite way. His brother hoping to get an RBI. Here's the pitch, and it is chopped over to third base, fielded by Borges. Looks back the runner across the diamond in time, but good base running by Kadaris, as after Borges made the throw, Kadaris advances over to third on the fielder's choice. And Ari Kadaris is gunned down 5-3. So one away here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Alexi Kadaris is on third. Fitzgerald steps into the batter's box. Fitzgerald is yet to register an official at bat. He's been up twice. He has walked twice. And here's the pitch, and it's outside, gets away from Luciano, but Kadaris not moving on third, so it'll be 1-0 to Fitzgerald. And the pitch fouled straight back, right over the umpire's head. And the count evens up at 1-1. One away, bottom of the fifth inning. Bridgehampton on top, 8-1. Game scheduled for 7. We'll see if we make it. And here's the pitch. Outside, gets away from Luciano, but he pounces on it quickly. And the count 2-1 to Fitzgerald. And the pitch. And it is popped in the air down the right field line and hooking foul. So that evens the count up at 2-2. So Fitzgerald's back in the box. McCullough on the mound, checks the runner at third, deals the 2-2, and it's low. So the count goes full on Fitzgerald.
One more, Aiden, you got it.
McCullough's done very well this afternoon. But with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, let's see if he can strand him right there. There's a chopper to shortstop. That'll get the run home. Fielded there by Sanchez. Throws across the diamond in time. But the run does score. So scored a 6-3. And it is now 9-1. Bridgehampton in front. And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, McGonigal. McGonigal's 0 for 1 in game number 2. Walked in the second inning, came around to score, struck out looking in the third. And here's the pitch, and a strike at the knees. And the count is 0-1. McCullough gets the sign and tosses the 0-1, low and outside, and the count is 1-1. The pitch, strike on the inside corner, and McCullough is out in front, 1-2. McGonigal has to protect, shorten up his swing. And the pitch. Fastball right down Broadway, and McGonigal goes down looking for the second time this evening, and that will do it here in the fifth inning. And for Bridgehampton, they get 1 run on 1 hit no errors and nobody left on base. At the end of 5, it's 9-1 Bridgehampton. As we enter the 6th inning, we will step aside briefly. Again, we're not sure if we're going to go 6 or 7, but Bridgehampton's taking the field. Will this be last licks? Well, the lights have just been turned off. 10 o'clock on the nose, so I guess there is a curfew here. So we will actually keep it right here until we find out what's going on. Amityville is entitled to their last licks. But right now it is pitch black out there on this baseball diamond. In fact, every other field here at the complex, now the other lights are starting to go off too. The soccer field, the lights are still on. The press box is lit up. But the baseball diamond is pitch black. And I am assuming that will be it, and it will be. So both teams' season comes to a close. Final score in game number 2. It's Bridgehampton 9 and the Warriors 1. Actually, technically, it should be 8-1 since that half inning shouldn't have counted since the Warriors didn't get their last licks. But nevertheless, Warriors dropped the last 2 to end their season. Amityville on the year ends up with 2 wins. And their final record is 2-15. Bridgehampton, meanwhile, improves to 8-8. And now the lights come back on. So who knows what's going on here. And both teams are celebrating. We'll have to see what the umpires and the coaches decide to do. Clearly, Amityville wants to keep going. A couple of players for Bridgehampton have taken the field. And it looks like they're going to go out for another at least half an inning. So a kind of strange turn of events here in Selden. And I guess, as they say, the show must go on. So the umpire's still converging, talking it over with the coaches. Bridgehampton's entire team's out on the field and warming up. They don't seem to want to call it a day. Amityville wants to keep going. And it looks like we're rolling. So it'll be the top of the 6th inning. So cross out those records and let's see what happens. Warriors still have a pretty huge hill to climb as they are currently trailing 9-1. And with Amityville coming to the plate, this will make that run official. So we enter the top of the 6th. And for the Warriors, it'll be their 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. Borges, Rosario, and McCullough. The younger McCullough, Elijah. So Tate Ford climbs the bump, maybe for the final time. Again, we don't know, but right now we'll send it down to Aaron Kruger, who has a story.
All right, we're here, and after we thought the game was ending, the lights turned off at 10 o'clock, and we all thought we were going to go home, but nope, the lights turned on just as the teams were shaking hands, and both teams are excited to keep on playing because the Warriors still have one more half of an inning left to go. That we were entitled to bat, but they're all tired, but they're excited to play. Back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. So if that is in fact the case, then this will be the last inning. Aaron's going to double check for us to see if they're planning on playing 6 or 7. They may end up determining that factor based on what Amityville does this inning. But we are all set. Ford is ready to go. Borges is in the box. And the pitch. Swung on and tipped into the catcher's glove for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Temperature is definitely dropping here, but it was a beautiful afternoon. As there's the pitch, and Borges waves at it. And the count quickly 0-2. And there's the pitch. Big hook. And swing and a miss. And Borges goes down swinging. A good breaking ball by Ford. He's had a really good curve all night. That will bring up Rosario, which this very well could be his final at-bat. As a graduating senior here in Amityville, he had a hit and scored a run back in the second inning, grounded into a double play. After that, in the third, as he swings at the first pitch and fouls it out of play for a strike. One out here in the top of the sixth inning. Rosario back in the box. Ford gets the sign and sets and deals. And it's hit off the fist into shallow center field. And Knip able to make the catch. So Rosario gets a nice round of applause from his teammates, knowing that most likely that will be his last career at bat. And that brings up McCullough. McCullough, the 8th grader, if he can get on, it will give Lucas Torres an opportunity. Again, we do not know yet if this game will go 7 or 6. If it goes 7, Torres will get one more at bat. If it goes 6, he may not. Torres in the on-deck circle, and there's a curveball. And McCullough gets dirty, getting out of the way. And that's ball 1. McCullough was hit by the pitch in the second inning and popped up to the third baseman back in the fourth. Fouls that one off, and the count evens up at 1. This Warrior team desperately wants McCullough to find a way to get on base to extend the career of Lucas Torres. And the pitch. Strike at the letters, and McCullough down to his final strike. It's 1-2. Ford has the sign and deals the 1-2 outside, and the count evens up at 2-2. Again, senior Lucas Torres awaits on deck. Will he get one final at-bat in his career? Warriors trailing 9-1 in Game 2 against Bridgehampton. Final game of the season, potentially final at-bat of the season. And the 8th grader is battling here as he fights off another pitch. Count remains 2-2. McCullough has a bright future. He'll also have an opportunity to play 2 more seasons with his older brother Aiden, who has done a tremendous job on the mound today for the Warriors. And here's the 2-2. Fought off again into the parking lot. So McCullough keeps fighting him off, and the count remains 2-2. Ford gets the sign and deals, and it's low. It's a full count now for Elijah McCullough. Can the 8th grader find a way to get on and get Torres one more at bat? The 3-2. Swung on and grounded towards third. Fielded there by Kadaris. Across the diamond in the dirt. Scooped up by Alvarcera. And that will do it here. And that will do it for the game. As both teams come out, this one's going to be called after 5.5 innings of play. And a final score, 9-1. The Warrior season comes to an end, but they fought hard, they played well, and most importantly, it looks like both teams had a really good time today playing at this wonderful facility. We'll try to hear from Coach Zeider before the team gets on the bus and enjoys the 40-minute bus ride back to Amityville. But what a day for both of these teams. Amityville falls 7-5 in game number 1. They fall 9-1 in 6 innings here in game number 2, but all smiles from both sides. I know Lucas Torres wanted that last at-bat, but to play 2 at this field in your final game under the lights, what a special moment. Bridgehampton huddles as a team behind first base. The Warriors are kind of spread out right now. Some of them are hanging out by second base. Now they're running back towards the Amityville dugout. For some, their careers have come to an end. For others, the future is very, very bright. And now we can give the final tallies for records on the season. So Amityville now officially falls to 2-15 on the year. Bridgehampton improves to 8-8, so they finish at 500 on the year. Congratulations once again to Amityville seniors Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres, who wrap up their career tonight. And right now the whole Warrior team is gathered between third base and home plate. Coach Zeider is having him line up for a picture. Our very own Erin Kruder, instead of interviewing the coach, is there taking the picture. And hopefully when she's done doing that, she'll be able to get a quick word with Coach Zeider before the team travels home. But again, you never want to lose. It's not fun, but this team played hard all year. You could tell they were having fun. When the lights went off, disappointment on both sides that that's how their season and for some their careers were going to end. But instead, the lights come back on. They get to play one more inning and finish with a smile. Now we send it to Erin, who's with Coach Jack Zeider.
Guys, hurry up.
All right, I'm here with head coach Jack Zeider and assistant coach Reiner. So what are your thoughts on today's game, it being the last game of the season, especially for those two seniors back there?
It's very sad to see them go. I'm happy that they had a good time tonight. It was nice to play here. They've been looking forward to it all year. You know, come back in game one was nice. We obviously would have liked to have had a different result with the second game, but leaving that many runners on base is a difficult way to play and try and win. But, you know, it's going to be very sad to see them go. But, you know, got a month left with them in school, so that's nice.
We always say when we're putting our hands in that we're a big family, and this team epitomizes that. We are such a family. We support each other, everything that we do. I love these guys. They're great. We're going to miss them.
What are your thoughts on, so it being the last of the season, what are your thoughts for next season, how that's going to come up with this young team, especially with the 8th graders and freshmen, sophomores on the team?
Well, listen, the best part about only having 2 seniors is that it's only 2 seniors. And, you know, the heart of the team is in 10th grade. We've got 6 juniors, you know, so the biggest thing is that they continue to grow, because if they don't learn from these experiences, then it's going to be harder for them. But the best part about this team so far is that they take what they experience and they grow from it, and they really enjoy each other's company, and we love it. It's invaluable.
We're going to be ready. This team is going to be ready next year, so we're psyched. Yeah.
Thank you, coaches. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Coach Zeider. Thank you, Coach Reiner, and congratulations to them and the entire team. And that is going to wrap up the 2024 baseball season for the Amityville Warriors. A doubleheader, a glorious day, and a great way to end. Amityville falls in Game 1 by a score of 7-5, and they fall in Game 2 in 6 innings by a final of 9-1. Thank you for everybody that tuned in to watch and that supported the Amityville Broadcasting Network all season. We love our listeners, and we couldn't do any of this without our students that help us out every day. I want to thank Erin Kruder, who did an amazing job. Sydney Blake, both of them have been here for hours and hours and hours, and we'll wake up early tomorrow and have to do it all over again by going to school. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you so much. Paul Cimino as well, who makes the magic happen. So for the final time in the 2024 season, Amityville drops to Twinville 7-5 and 9-1. Their season comes to a close, but a final congratulations to Mason Rosario and Lucas Torres, who will be graduating in less than 2 months. Thank you for tuning in, for all of your support, and have a good night, everybody.